Here we are again. I got a bone to pick with you. You made me.
Hey,
You
welcome
made.
everyone.
You made me sit
Go
through.
ahead.
You made me sit through the first episode of Ahsoka.
Oh yeah, well, let's not jump into that right away. It's gonna be tough. I understand many marketing factors on Ahsoka. I have a headache. We talk about this in the secret episode that nobody gonna see, right? But the message that we're sending to the new generations and the present small generations, right? Of how things need to work in the society are totally wrong. But we will jump into that. Welcome to episode 3 of our podcast. Thank you. Number one is already there, obviously, and thank you for the views. I got a lot of personal messages, right, saying that I look fantastic and you don't. Nah, I'm just kidding. They say that we look
Hey,
great.
I mean,
Friend.
brains are beauty. I got neither. So,
Yeah. What are you talking about?
well, I mean, you're a smart guy.
Anyway, so what? My mom thinking I'm special. Anyway, so welcome to episode 3. Today we're going to talk a lot of politics and pop culture. Of course, we're going to talk about Ahsoka, is the new release from Disney. For the Star Wars forever that doesn't know what we're talking about, Ahsoka is one Jedi that has many appearances in The Mandalorian and in the cartoon that was released 7, 8 years ago, probably more, right?
I
The
think
Clone Wars.
it started. Oh gosh, when did it start? Like mid to late two
It's like
thousands. Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's been since forever. It's the only one that I haven't seen completely, to be honest with you. And then we're gonna talk about music in pop culture and how everything goes to society, right?
Yep.
Um, for now on, I talked to our executive team of editors, and I say that every time you say the word again, they're gonna froze the frame and they're gonna put a song of us. So I think it's pretty cool, and I'm excited about that. I can't wait to see it.
So
As you know, every Monday.
let me get this straight. Every time I say again, they're gonna put the logo for again and play a song from again. And if I say it again, they're gonna do it again.
Every time you say, right now, we're gonna hear 5 seconds of this H song. Thanks to you.
Whew, I hope I don't do it again.
There you go. Thank you.
And your
So
editor,
welcome.
and your editor now hates me.
Oh yeah, Nina loves everyone, but probably she hates everyone inside. It's like a what was the name of that serial killer that take the kids from the bars and chop them into pieces?
I think you're talking about Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer. Remember how cool and relaxed till they close the door? I'm pretty sure our team of editors is like that. They smile at us, and as soon they close the door and they look at the film, they're chopping it into pieces. So yeah, that's my mind today, people. Yes, it's been a tough weekend. Welcome to episode 3.
Nina, I just want it on the record. I don't think you're like Jeffrey Dahmer, like at all. And if he says it
All right.
again,
That's funny. Well, I just need to unwind a little bit with our fans. We have a lot of good reviews. Even a follower in Miami says that we deserve to have a Vegas show together. I don't see each other in a Vegas show, but something to consider. Vegas people, listen to us. She's
a
the beauty and the brains.
a live podcast in some fashion would be fun. I got my start doing actually until this one. This is the only podcast I've ever done that wasn't done live. So I like a live podcast.
What are you talking about? This is life. It's not
Well, it's
that.
it's live for you and me, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I'm actually an AI answering to you. Virus was busy today.
If only, right?
Hello. Hello. I'm Virus. I don't know what they all sound like that. All the AI sound like that.
I'll be
Have,
honest.
have you tried the.
I was just gonna say I'll be honest with you. I think it's because of sci-fi movies. There's an expectation for what a artificial intelligence will sound like, and therefore I think they're mimicking that because that's what people expect to hear. Because like how even well, Siri sounds more like a real person, but still kind of robotic. That's basically what
Siri
almost
doesn't
every.
sound like a normal person. Imagine that you go to a bar and you say, "Hi, what's your name?" "Hi, my name is Siri." I'm like, of course, doesn't sound like a real person. We're used to Siri. And Alexa, I must confess that Alexa is annoying. You heard that? Alexa, quiet, please. You heard that? That's what I hate her.
You know what I did with
Alexa,
mine?
quiet.
You know what I did with mine? I changed
Fine.
my.
Alexa, silence. There you go. Sorry to everyone. Like I say, the AI that starts with an A, if me and
Well,
her, we have a problem. The other day, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say I changed my prompt word to computer. One, so I get a kick when
Mm,
people try to use it and they keep saying Alexa, Alexa, and it doesn't work. But I also wanted to feel like Star Trek.
there you go. That's smart. The other night I was going to bed, finally relaxed. I opened TikTok, and in TikTok they say the name, and that thing start talking. It scared the set out of me, like really, like, well, like, right? So, and I got a problem because every time that I try to play again in Alexa, it doesn't work. We need to go through the song and then to the band. Because when you say to Alexa, I'm not gonna say her name again because she's gonna start talking. When you talk to her and you say play again, they repeat the previous song. So it's not nice. But either way, welcome to the third episode that is us bickering about our experiences with AI. And remember, we are real. Imagine an AI with an accent.
Well, I mean, you can
Hello, my
get
name is Pippi.
you can get different accents for those voices of artificial intelligence.
But they have English accent, Australian accent, actually in Asian accent, and American accent. I never seen. Hello, my name is Pepe. I'm ready to clean your pool. And yes, that was a racist joke. I'm Latino. I can do that. Welcome
But
to my life.
what about Alexa's Spanish voice? Is it
It
like
speaks like Spanish from Spain.
oh I'm so sorry. What maybe
Actually, I'm gonna say it in Spanish for people. Alexa en español toca habla así, habla
oh
totalmente como española. Yeah,
como
yeah,
Barcelona Barcelona.
yeah, exactly. Now, the thing is, if they do, and probably our followers in Latin America, they're gonna laugh right now, and more in Mexico. But if they do it with Mexico, we'll have three different ones. The one from the city that they talk like this, like from the ghetto, like from the north and the south of the country. Will be really funny to have until AI, for all that. So it will be really funny. But let's dive in. Thank you, Jake, for being here. Always, it's nice to have you here. Let's talk about Ahsoka. I know I don't want this to be a Star Wars podcast because it's not, but it happened at the same time. The first episode was about Star Wars. The second we touched a little bit of Star Wars. But Ahsoka just got released in Disney Plus. Ahsoka, before I jump into my personal perspective, Ahsoka is a new TV series that is before the episode 4.
No, it should be after Return of the Jedi.
No, sir, it's before episode 4. Check it out. You
No, no,
can
no,
check it
no.
out. Please check it out for me.
No, it's not because all those series, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka are all taking place
It's
after.
exactly, it's exactly at the same time. I checked this, and please check it out. It's at the same time that Obi-Wan Kenobi is in hidden. Is in It's exactly at the same time. This is happening exactly meanwhile Obi-Wan Kenobi is in Tatooine, hidden from the Empire. If not, my AI was mistaken. But please correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I'm double checking because I had read, but maybe I misunderstood. Uh,
I asked.
taking place in the same primary and taking place in the same time frame as that series and its other interconnected spin-offs after the events of Return of the Jedi.
Really, I asked the AI. I asked her about that and told me that it was precede. The answer was it happened while Obi-Wan was hidden in Tatooine.
Yeah, the premise is Ahsoka Tano investigates an emerging threat to the galaxy following the fall of the Empire. So yeah, I believe it's set 5 years after the Battle of Endor.
So, okay, great. I believe you. I don't believe my AI anymore. Thank you for this. Was great to have you here. Thank you everyone for the.
it's
No.
it's
So
the
anyway,
Empire.
it's the Empire. So Ahsoka is a feminist show that we don't see interaction with men. That we're showing the prime and lead actress, right? I love that as actors and the development, no, but it's a female version of Obi-Wan Kenobi because of the race, of the gender. Ahsoka's friend, leader, right? A woman. The robot, the android that is with her, as you know, androids doesn't have gender, right? But then she goes for the Padawan, and the Padawan, guess what? She's a female as well. A female that shows herself as a powerful rebel. I don't know what is going on that now all the Padawans are more powerful and they can survive being
Yeah,
stabbed with a lightsaber. Go
yeah.
ahead, go ahead. I'm just Bill. I'm
Oh,
throwing
oh,
fire.
okay. So here's my impression because I only watched the first episode. I sincerely doubt I'll be watching the second. It was 51 minutes of Rosario Dawson going like this, which no hate to Rosario Dawson. I love Rosario Dawson. But basically, it's 51 minutes of her crossing her arms, the Sabine character riding a speeder, and here's my biggest problem with it. So, and this is probably just because of the platform it's on. It's not like a network television show, but like I know about Star Wars Rebels, but I didn't watch it. And they're referencing the events
I
of
watch
Star
it.
Wars Rebels. I have no idea who they're talking about. Oh, and we got to see Zim become a politician for you Starship Trooper fans out there.
Yeah. Just to explain to the people, the show that you're talking about is the cartoon, correct?
Yeah,
So that cartoon actually is pretty good. I
I've
saw the
heard.
first season, the first two seasons, and it's you know what? You know what is good? Because it's simple. It's not complicated. We go to from A to Z in one episode. We have comedy, we have action, we have speed, and that's it. It's not hidden things. It's not a problem. And I saw the first probably two seasons, then it started becoming the same thing because it's simple. The issue that I have with Ahsoka, and again, if people are gonna hate me because I say this, go ahead, right? There's many podcasts to listen to if they don't like this, but we need to stop separating genders. Star Wars, original one, has everything because it was a time when men was ruling, but even so, the lead actress is the twin sister of the other guy. Twin. It's a balance over there. Even it's a relationship between a dad and his son, right? Was another world. Now in the world that we live in, I don't mind at all how Kylo Ren and Rey they compensate. That was compensated. Now we go again with the same. This is Wonder Woman with Rosario Dawson with big horns. That's it. It's the
How
same start. I'm powerful. I don't need nobody. I can do everything by my own. I take my own decision. And like you say,
the
I'm
whole time.
posting all the time because I don't. Now, let me tell you, the first 40 seconds of the show, I was like, oh my God, this is good. That's it. Thanks God they put it at the first 40 seconds. Because after that, actually, I stopped watching at the end of the first one. Was I didn't want to watch the second one. And when you told me just watch one, I go like, great. That's how the podcast is gonna finish.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna watch it all. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, how interesting would it have been though to have a story where Ahsoka comes across a young force sensitive boy and takes him on as her Padawan, knowing what she learned and saw from Anakin, who was her master for those who don't know, because Ahsoka was Anakin Skywalker's Padawan. How interesting would that have been? Pretty interesting dynamic.
And I understand maybe And probably, maybe that's why she doesn't want to deal with guys anymore. Because obviously she deal with the craziest MF in the world. But the question arises again: how you can have all the money, all the concepts, all the rights, and fuck it up? Why? We go again to the same question. Why? Because when you are doing something and you don't have the full rights, you need to figure it out. When you don't have the money, you need to figure out. But he has everything. The director, something that I noticed that Disney's been doing with Star Wars, the writer, the director, sometimes, at least for the biggest shows, the writer, the director is the same. And that's good because the visualization and perspective doesn't change from the paper to the camera. However, if you have all the money and all the resources, just be better.
Well, and
You don't have
especially,
skills, just be better.
yeah, especially since they've already done better. The Mandalorian was great, particularly the first season, but I thought
The
the first
first
season.
season and the second was good. The third season is. I don't know if you have experience watching Mexican soap operas.
A couple.
Mexican Mexican soap operas for the audience is like a volcano ready to erupt all the time. And in the last episode, it's like somebody put a lid in the volcano and that's it. Everything finished like this. It's not resolution, not explanation, it's not why. It's just kiss, that's it. The lava disappears. And that's what I felt with the third season of the Mandalorian.
Oh, really? I
You're
haven't watched the
excited, you
third.
don't know what's gonna happen. Okay, I'm gonna shut my hell up, but
I probably won't.
again,
So
okay, so again, if you have all the money, the resources, just do better, guys. I hope Obi-Wan Kenobi was a big disappointed thing for me. Was really big. I don't know about you. And
didn't watch it. Heard it was the
and the
shits.
world of there's a movement in Disney that I think it's over after they fired this person. I don't remember her name, but she wanted all the lead characters to be females. The one that approved the Little Mermaid, right?
Was that
The one
Kathleen
that the
Kathleen
Little Mermaid.
Kennedy?
I don't remember her name. I don't like her as much, but I erase her from my data. Simple like that. So every person needed to be like that. So everything that we saw, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I understand, and I know we talk about this all the time. There's a lot of people talking and moving the pieces for something to see the light. But if you're Obi-Wan Kenobi, respect the character. And part of this segment is talking about that Star Wars universe that is not the movies. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi, The Mandalorian, Andor. Andor is a really good show, but I don't understand how they stretch the information. Have you seen Andor?
No, but I've heard it was good. I haven't watched it yet, but I know that it's the I forget the character, but it's the character from Rogue One, correct?
Yeah, yeah. Cassian is played by Diego Luna,
Yep.
friend of the family, pretty cool. His school, his dad was the best slide designer in Mexico, and he was an icon and a really good friend of my sister that she's a light designer. The master, his nickname was Master Luna. Diego's dad.
So
He was
so
like Master Luna.
so when are we gonna have him on?
Yeah, I know. He cool Diego. Yeah, whatever. That is with CAA. He will not make this, but I will. You know what? I have somebody that you just give me the idea that he's really famous in Hollywood, Latino, but his English sucks. But he's one of the most amazing persons ever that I met, and he's a really good friend. His name is Joaquin Cosillo. He's been in James Bond. What is a DC movie with all the crazy guys that went to what is the name, the Suicide Squad?
Mm-hmm.
He was in Suicide Squad. He's been in so many good movies. And Ted, remember Ted, the crazy bear? Ted.
Yeah, yeah, I love Ted.
He made he doubled the voice in Spanish for Ted for Latin America. It's really good. His
What's
name is
his name?
Joaquin Cosillo.
Cosillo.
Joaquin Cosillo. Cosio. He's a really good friend. So
Joaquin Cosillo Osuna.
so yep, big big guy. mean face, but he's so loving that you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, no,
He's
I
such a good actor that he will never. He was the bad guy in Quantum of Solace, and he's
that's
been doing great in the states. He's been doing great in the states, and he's the colonel in Suicide Squad dog too.
yep,
So
yep.
yeah, he played Narcos, Mexico, right? Playing Doneto. He's a really good actor, and he's doing great. Hello to all the kids and the family. So I'm gonna invite him, but you're gonna have to deal with the Spanish. That will be fantastic. It's
No
gonna be our
problema.
podcast in Spanish.
No
There
problema.
you go. I know you will. So the audience, you have like 3 or 4 weeks to learn Spanish, or we can ask Nina to put subtitles.
I was gonna say I'm sure Nina could put subtitles, or because my
Nina
Spanish
can do
is
everything.
yeah. Well, and again, my Spanish is okay, but I'm no master, so you'll probably have to translate some of my speech for him. But I don't know. I'm learning every day.
But I'm jumping the gun before I haven't even called him back. Let me see if he can.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
If
I'm
he
just
can,
saying.
if
I'm
he got
just
the
saying.
time, he will do it. If he got the time, he will do it. Because he's making movies all the time in Hollywood. But going back to Diego Luna and what's the name?
Andor.
Ah, the Andor is really good. Uh, uh, the texts are a little forced. You know the evolution of the text, but his work is fantastic. Every character in that show is well developed. Is good. We can see Cassian. Cassian is his name. How Cassian gets to what he is before before he becomes Rogue One,
Right,
right? The
right.
development and the darkness of his soul because he goes through so many troubles being who he is that he plays the anti-hero so good because he's doing it for him and for himself and the people that he loves. Period. He's not trying to save the galaxy. He's not. He's just surviving. And if we put that to a context to what we're living every day, every person that is not making six figures, that is late on the rent nowadays, right? That goes and have a work in Walmart, 7-Eleven, right? And they go back home and they pay their bills and they go, I need to pay my phone. That's a big reference to what we see in Endor. Is the guy that is a normal guy, no powers, no training, just balls and a desire to survive. And that's something that I like about that show. That's become empathy with the world that we live in.
Well,
And
it's
do you remember
real.
this song?
It's real and it's
It's
authentic.
real, exactly.
People can relate to that. What people can't relate to is like, oh
Yep.
look, a lightsaber. I'm an expert. Well, I don't know. I mean, and it's such a shame because I like Rosario Dawson as an actress. I like her, and
She's a really good actress.
I liked her portrayal as Ahsoka in what I saw in The Mandalorian. So I was excited for this show, and I liked the character because when they introduced her in the first episode of Clone Wars, they hated her. They were like, What's this?" And they're like, "Oh, she's gonna die because she wasn't in Revenge of the Sith." Blah 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 blah. And then she turned into a fan favorite because the writers wrote a compelling character that grew with the audience. It's almost like they did it on purpose. It was the damnedest thing.
But you know, when you want to do things and you have the resources and the money, it works. I think Ahsoka at the beginning was a little annoying because she was really young, as every Jedi is supposed to be. And when she's trained by Anakin, she's annoying, and she want to solve the things, and she got this annoying voice. Ahsoka, as an adult, you gotta do it too. Come on,
Is this every time we say the word Ahsoka, or are we just gonna?
we're gonna do that. I like that. So Ahsoka is again amazing, good work. Not amazing, good work from Rosario Dawson.
And
Rosario
before
Dawson has a really good. Go ahead, go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say before we crap on it some more. I mean, the show looks fantastic. It looks great from a production standpoint. Really? No, you didn't think so?
Yes and no. It's impressive because how they open the scenes. There's things that they look really good, but there's some that they look low
Oh,
budget. Like when they have
you know what?
the,
The
what is the name
bridge.
of her Padawan? the not the bridge when they the first scene when what is the name of the Padawan?
Is it Sabine?
Ahsoka, Ahsoka
Oh.
Padawan. Um, when she doesn't she missed the celebration, the thing behind um the audience and everything in that scene looks
Yeah,
really cheesy. Looks really
yeah.
really cheesy, and I don't understand why. Because I'm gonna say it again: if you got the money and you got the resources, don't fuck it up. It's really easy. I don't know
Well,
what's happening with my camera, guys. She's going down like a Soka. I knew it.
well, while you
I
figure
knew
that,
it.
I'll also cut up the bridge of the first ship that we see in Ahsoka. It looked like Star Trek: The Motion Picture from the color scheme and the tight shots, and it did. It looked so
I like that
bare.
shot. Well, exactly. It looks so bare. However, at the end, when you don't realize it, suddenly it looks like I'm gonna have to do the whole show like this. This is fantastic. It's fine. Um, yeah, because this is calling my phone. Because yes, I'm doing it with the phone because I'm traveling. I'm not in my house, and this broke. So
Oh
how you call
no,
this a holder? Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
have two pieces. It's fine. Um, so this that scene looks really good, but when we go to her house, it looks really a stage Miley Cyrus. What was the name of Miley Cyrus kind of show?
Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana kind of inside the house. Like everything's in the right place. The lighting is really cheesy. The colors of the walls are really cheesy. And then we
It's
go
yeah, it's flat. It did kind of look. It didn't look like a sitcom, but it was lit like one.
exactly. It's the lighting. The lighting designing the in some parts. Come on. And then inside Ahsoka's ship when they're discussing and say, "Don't take the puzzle," right? And she took the puzzle again. That whole scenario doesn't look Star Wars level. Doesn't look to the point of what we're used to, right? But
That's fair.
that's the world that we're living. Uh, and I'm crapping on the show. Hopefully, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna watch it because I said I'm not gonna watch it, and I keep watching everything. So let's see. Let's see if it pick up more. Obviously, they're doing it, and I celebrate that every time a new project comes to life and actually comes out and make it to the screen, regardless of it's a celebration for the art. So that's all for me in Ahsoka, right? Star Wars franchises. I don't know if you guys know, but Disney. It's been said for a long time that Apple is going to buy Disney Plus. Have you
Hmm.
heard that rumor?
I've heard the
It's been
rumor. I
around for a
don't.
long time.
I don't know that they will though, just because I mean, it's like Disney economically is down right now, but that's compared to Disney. So, and plus, I mean, they own
Yeah,
so much. They own 20th Century Fox. They own Marvel. They own ESPN. Or do they own
yeah,
all of ESPN
but
now?
yeah, yeah, and they own the best ESPN channel, El Ocho. Remember that show?
The Ocho, yeah.
The
It's a bold
Ocho.
strategy,
Uh,
Cotton. Let's see if it works.
I don't know. It's gonna work. It's really cool. So it's um it's unfortunate that Disney is not delivering what we expect. Don't take me wrong. I love to go to one side and watch, being able to watch everything that I want from Disney in the same spot. But it becoming, we're becoming spoiled. This society. Now we don't have to even worry about productions. And now with the strike, the actors' strike, it's going to be hard to keep having good uh, materials. We have an overflow or entertainment in our houses. There's so much possibilities that you spend sometimes, and everybody will agree with this. Sometimes you spend more time trying to figure it out what you're gonna watch, and in one app that actually what you spend watching before you fall asleep, right? So Netflix and chill is disappeared. Now it's like, what the hell I'm gonna watch? Get the hell out of my house, right?
Right.
It's complicated. It's complicated. But now with the strike, hopefully everything evens a little more. because it's not more materials, it's not new materials, and even though I know for a fact that a lot of materials is being released, I mean recorded film, and they're in post production, I don't see when the strike is gonna end. So far, I don't know.
So, but would more of a question? Would you consider, let's say, there's an independent creator out there who's not part of the union? Is this a time where they can exploit it and step up, or would you consider that to be a form of scabbing? Which I hate that expression, but
I think that they can go and do it, and there's a lot of actors that know in the union that they will go and film it, and even they have a piece of art, the studios will not vouch for distribution because they will go violating the rights of the union. The union, personally, SAG is not something that I love. It's something that I kind of understand, but it's if you and me right now, I travel where you are, and we make an amazing movie, and I get an independent distributor, and the independent distributor happen to know the right people. It might goes out like when remember in COVID 2020, the Academy Award nominations was everything was a piece of shit, everything
well, that's
because
most years.
wasn't nothing. Yeah,
Yeah,
but come on, but like everyone that has some material ready, right, was able to submit to the Academy Awards in 2020, the COVID year. So I don't know what's gonna happen. The other day I was talking with somebody in the industry, and I said I wish I had the power of the pen, right, on the sword, and call a big studio and say, let's find new artists, let's do it in the old style. They're exclusive for the studio. We do the movies, and we can build somebody so fast with social media that we could have everything ready.
that is
And yeah, the
so.
union will sue me.
Well, but hang on. It's so funny you mention that because I was thinking this not that long ago. Was like, when this all started, a studio would have a contractor or a writer or anyone involved in a film production were contracted to the studio. So, like for example, I forget which. I think Judy Garland was contracted to MGM, I believe, or which.
MGM,
Yeah.
MGM.
So MGM wanted to make a movie. Okay, we got this new project called The Wizard of Oz. We need to cast a Dorothy. Who do we got in our roster? And they go through blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Judy Garland's contracted by the studio, which means now it's not saying because there have been I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there were cases where a studio like Warner Brothers would be like, "Hey, we got this project. We think one of your actors would be perfect for it. Can we have them on this production?" They pay the studio, the actor gets paid, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Now, actor in Hollywood, actors are pretty well independent. Well, they are independent contractors because they can objectively work for anybody. It's my understanding. So I wonder if we're going to be going back to that studio system. Now, back in the day, it was obscenely exploitative, as see Judy Garland as an example. But with the
But you know,
labor, oh, go ahead.
that, to be honest with you, that system worked. I think the same industry. Let me explain you. Let's assume that you're a new actor and you come to LA. For you to be as successful as Ryan Reynolds, right? You will have an exclusive with somebody. Just so we understand. It's like the mecca is to have an exclusive with the studio. Keanu Reeves, when you see he's making a new project, many movies for $82 million. Yeah, he's signing a contract like a basketball player for many years, right? He, of course, every contract is different, but the industry for you to become famous, you need an entertainment advisor, a manager, a TV agent, a commercial agent, a film agent, an entertainment lawyer, a publicist, and a personal assistant. That's your big eight, the ocho. If you have all that, if you have all that, you'll be able to be successful. Now, paying a having a payroll of these people is really expensive. That's where the agency like CAA, that is one of the biggest, they bring everything to you under a package. So when you but so now that you're saying, imagine that somebody listened to this podcast because this guy, director of a big studio, listened to this podcast because he was high on weed and decided to just click on it and got the recommendation. of annoying Latino guy that always think that he's right with his friend, right? And he got the recommendation. They're like, you know what, I'm right. And he called me. Well, the agent's gonna go crazy because we will break in a system where more than 20 people eat. I Let me tell you this personal experience. Just arrived in America. I just received my papers and I do my first project. And I create a platform. This is 11 years ago. This is my second time in America. I create an app where you can cast online, casting directing for the casting agent, not an agent, no managers. And I receive a letter from SAG saying that I need to cease and desist.
Based upon what grounds?
Then, because I was destroying a system pre-established, that I needed to be in SAG, that I needed to have an agent and a manager, and I was destroying a system. I just arrived in America. We stopped the project. Then that project became casting and is valuated in casting network and is valuated in $2 billion. So it's a situation of understanding that nobody wants you to come to their house, open the door, have sex with your wife, and then tell you, make me breakfast. You need to get along, go along to get along. That's the reality in the business, in Hollywood business. If I had the connections and the knowledge that I have now, I will go to an entertainment lawyer, will ensure the patent, have the patent, and they will, right, suck my big Mexican pride. But that's how the system works right now. Like I say, a miracle happened, and somebody told us, okay, let's have 60 actors, different ethnicities, different talents. We throw 5 movies this year without the union. You're an independent subcontractor, like a record label, right? Here's the money. Yes, we will have a promotion. It will be backlash from the famous people, but sooner or later, Tom Cruise will cross, like you say. You remember the movie Keanu Reeves, football players that they go on a strike? I will survive. Remember that
Mm.
movie? What is the replacements?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was gonna happen. Sooner or later, they will cross, right? And union, the only union you can have a fight, to be honest with you, is SAG, because they don't have a history like Jimmy Hoffa, right? Nobody's gonna disappear you like other kind of unions. But economically, and the world has become copycats for the last 20 years. Somebody sees something and want to copycat. You have an Instagram, I have an Instagram. I go like this, you go like this.
Ahsoka
Now
goes
we
like
have a strike
this.
with the actors. All right. Uh, there's a strike. It's been what, 3, 4 months for the strike, and now the I don't know if you heard, but the car industry is going on a strike. Why? Because they heard it's working, that is not. They following the example, and the union leader says, "We're gonna have rights. We're gonna go to the only one that is winning in that moment is the union leader because they're gonna vote for him, so he
Right.
will have more control." So he's selling empty promises. Hoffa, they say was a gangster. Hoffa, I invite people to see the movie, The Irishman, fantastic movie. That you understand how Jimmy Hoffa was a guy that actually cared about the workers, and like we see it in Batman: The Dark Knight. I don't remember. I'm gonna paraphrase, but the difference between a villain and a hero, right, is the perspective, like the Caesar, right? They mentioned that in the movie. A hero for many, a villain for all, because when you see for your interest, it will destroy you because we live in a community, in a society. But at the same time, if you don't see for your, and it's a more vice circle that we'll find. If I don't look for myself, then I don't get accepted in this society. But to get accepted in that society, they for me to be selfish, following just my dreams, not the dreams of everyone. if we could take selfishness out of humans, Ahsoka will be better. And I know there is a big jump, but the perception of one person can be everything. I know genialities and consequences and masterpieces happen for the neglecting of the no and the accepting of myself. Oh, that was really good. But we live in a society. And if we don't do a change, suddenly we're going to have a real crisis that they're going to blame it in the Bitcoin, they're going to blame it in COVID. But the reality is that if we don't make a negotiation, then more unions are going to strike, and then we're going to have a big, big problem. Because Detroit is already really bad. And if they keep your area, right, it's going to be in problems. I invite everyone to look around the strike petition that is doing the automobile industry, and it's crazy.
I don't know much about the auto industry yet, but I have a sneaking suspicion that it probably has to do with cutbacks and layoffs that were because of the virus of unspecified origin, and they're blaming the wrong people because the consumers didn't shut the factories down.
Well, they're complaining about, and I understand one thing. They're saying that it's so much automatized system that they don't have real workers. But I think I'm probably mistaken, but they're asking for a 400% increment in salaries in the next 5 years. 400%? Come on, that's not going to happen. So now when you see something like that, you realize that it's a personal agenda to get elected so he can more control, so that they vouch. Everything's a job.
Here's the problem with an industry-wide union, though, is the fact that there's the I'm not arguing for the corporations, but like let's take Ford, Henry Ford, back in the day, the Model T. Ford revolutionized, and granted, part of that revolution was paying his workers more, by the way, and cutting down work hours. That was part of the innovation that changed the industry, but he didn't stand up from a pulpit and say, this is what the industry is going to do. He said, this is how I'm going to do it. And if it works, which I mean, I think he was pretty sure it would, because he got the best of the best because he gave them more pay for less work. Funny that. But he knew he was going to get the best workers, and it worked out, and then the rest of the industry followed suit. There's
Because we're copycats.
well, and that's
And it
fine.
worked for somebody.
And that's fine because well, it's not even so much copycats. It's like you got Ford, and then you got let's say you've got General Motors. They see what's happening. They're like, hey, boss, we gotta do this too, or we're gonna go under. We're not gonna be able to compete.
Um, as many of these, you guys know, I own a waterless car wash, and I have in a city. I
You
know, it's
do?
a recurring job. Yeah, I do.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Please ask me how it works.
How
Please
does it
ask me
work?
how it works.
How does it work, Virus?
Nano, nanotechnology with polymers. We transform the dirt into a polymer so we can retrieve it from your car. And it's amazing. But I was having a conversation. We have 4 workers for every building where we work at and we clean the cars. Even in the day when you require of me while you sleep. And part of my board told me, why we have 4 instead of 2? If we have 2, we will come good and we will make more money. And I say, yeah, but if we're selfish, we're denying 2 families to eat better, not to commit crime, so the society will be better, so we'll have more buildings in the future. Of course, I invite everyone to imagine an international board of directors saying, I'm the chairman, let's keep spending more because I want to help more families. The selfishness of the ones that said, no, let's cut heads against me and the people that are close to the board, saying no, we're gonna keep people because at the end of the day, if you don't think it about the whole society, it goes away. I prefer to have 2 more workers, make less money, but provide a better service and help the society to become better. The wireless car wash is really good. Do you know how will be the difference to buy Bitcoin for me myself and I, and own a waterless car wash to save the world and save water, you need to think about the big picture and the greatest good. If not, what is the point? Because yeah, I'll be rich, but then the next generation wouldn't have water,
Well,
right?
there's
But tell me,
also
Premier.
well, no, and there's also a very practical, I wouldn't call it selfish, but it's a long-term self-serving side to that. Like for example, because I own a business too, like you've got four guys per building or four people per building. I'm not, because I assume you'd hire a woman. I mean, maybe. I don't know
You
how
wouldn't believe,
sexist.
no, you wouldn't believe they're better workers, but yeah,
I
they're better workers.
I I believe it. But anyway, so you have four people per building. And let's say you could accomplish it with two. Here's the problem with that. One of them calls in sick. Or one of them gets pissed because now two people have to go
It's
through
like,
a, well, or is late, or two people have to go through and wash every car. And if they've got 300 cars to do, which I'm sure they don't do 300 in a day, but you know what I mean. Like it's there's a number of cars that have to get done in a set amount of time. And the difference between two people could be being stressed and strapped for time all day, or being able to do your job, but not necessarily like have fun, but at least have a good time doing it. Because why not? I run into that all the time, and I've had to explain to my business partner, like, we had a flooring delivering recently. We had 5 pallets of flooring that had to go out. Each box weighs 65 pounds. I told him, I said, okay, I'm going to go on that flooring delivery with our guy. And he just looked at me and goes, why? And I'm like, because it's 142 boxes that weigh 60 pounds apiece. By me going, he's not going to quit.
yeah,
And if he doesn't quit, that means I don't have to do all the other shit. And if all I got to do is lift, you know, 80 boxes of flooring in one day, that's an easy decision. But there's a lot of short-term laziness that gets in the way of long-term laziness. I tell my workers all the time, it's like, listen, I want you to be lazy. I just want you to be long-term lazy. What I mean by that is like
yeah.
when we get a shipment in, I want you to organize it in such a way that it's easy for you to get to, so that you don't have to move a bunch of shit when you need to get to it. So do an extra 5 minutes of work now and save yourself 30 later. Be that kind of lazy.
But
That's what I want.
we take 50 minutes with two people to clean a car. 50 minutes. Yeah, but we take 10 minutes before clean it because we do it as in a system that I created. That is our patent and trademark. That you clean the car in 10 minutes. 10 minutes to clean a car is like the machine, but it's actually people by hand and it's wax at the same time. And it's fantastic. If I get to those 5 minutes, it keeps adding up. And if a client comes out and it's their checkout time, I will not be able to serve the client. And that is I know everybody will say, well, work smart, don't work whatever the phrase that they put on LinkedIn all the time, right? Work
Oh,
less smart.
don't get me started on LinkedIn.
Oh my God. Anyway, so my point is, this is why Andor is good and Ahsoka sucks. Because we don't care about the result of society. The same problem we're having with Disney, because we're talking about the Disney universe at this point. The new Snow White is a dream of an actress that is her first big stuff that is destroying the concept because of what society is pressuring her to believe. I don't know if she believes it or not. I don't know her personally, but I saw an interview when she says, and this was viral, so it's not. It's only if you live under a rock, you wouldn't see when she said, "Oh, we're doing a Snow White that is totally different. The prince doesn't," and you have Gal Gadot over there making second voice, right? The prince doesn't have anything to say. Yeah, the prince doesn't have anything to say. It's something that you never seen before. Hold a second. If you wanted to do a show about seven guys or seven people that is not little people anymore because you don't like little people and you don't want the prince to save you and you want an evil witch to hit you, name it Ahsoka 4. Don't use the Snow White.
I said because we talked about that. The episode is called Disney Civil War. If you want to go watch it on YouTube, on the Average Intelligence podcast, we did it. And I was half joking, but it's really serious. I'm like, it's not Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's Lost Girl, One Dwarf, and 6 other racially diverse and mystical creatures of some kind. But that's too long, so they're just going to
Yeah.
call it Snow White.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. But the point, and that's what this podcast is about. The entertainment and society are so entangled. Say hello, Will Smith and wife. They have this entanglement, right? That is impossible. I know. One day I'm gonna get punched in the face,
Well,
but I
slapped.
actually will sue. Yeah,
What? Okay,
let's start from that.
okay. Not to get off topic, but what did you think about that? Because I realized we've never talked about that.
Okay, let me tell you, it's really easy. They need numbers. He won the Academy Award. He's such a great actor that knows and understands the business that, in my personal perception, they approached him and said, "You're gonna win the Oscar, man. You did an amazing job. We need you to take one for the team. Nobody's gonna put you in jail because you need to slap, not hit with the fist." And I get cops in my life that told me never with the fist closed because it will be aggression in a degree. A slap, it could be argumentative. I'm a lawyer, right? I slap him. It's not the same that with closed fist. He did it in the time that what nobody wasn't expecting. It was already a long relationship between Chris Rock and him. The way that Chris Rock take the hit is totally rehearsal. Not the way that Will Smith hit because he knows how to hit because he's Will Smith. The way that he knows how to hold it, and Chris Rock knows exactly how to roll the punch. Even Chris Rock was Robin, trained by Bruce Wayne, and know how to roll a punch, right? Or that was prepared. 1 second, it was a perfect. We have the African American host, the African American star that we're not gonna hurt your career. It didn't hurt the career. Why? Because they explode and then disappear as fast, right? As our future president was taking his mugshot and didn't disappear, right?
Oh, you said our
I know, but it
future.
disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our future. Yeah, he's gonna win for sure.
Really?
He's
You
the
think?
most. He's
You
the
think
smart.
so?
He's the smarter marketing person we have in the world. Think about it for a second.
Oh, I
Step out
agree.
for
I
the.
agree.
For, you know that mugshot put in his campaign more than $6 million.
Oh, wasn't it 20? I had read 20.
No, no, I read six when it was happening. But
Oh,
think
maybe
about
when.
it.
Yeah.
He went to Atlanta to give himself in because the bonds in Atlanta are in a different matter. He didn't give himself in Washington, in California, right? He got his mugshot, and for God's sake, the mugshot is not like this. Look at me, guys, or like this. Is
Yeah. Oh, I saw that. I called that. I said this is going to backfire on them spectacularly, and it did. Coolest
yeah,
mugshot ever
yeah,
taken.
of course, because remember that whoever controls the narrative controls the world.
Yeah, and you can't take
And
the narrative.
whoever
You can't take the narrative away from Trump because he won't let you. You can try, and he'll just be like, "Fake news, wrong." You can't do it.
and see what the first time that he got arrested, right? He got arrested, book, and when he walked out, he said, "I'm gonna be president again." That's marketing. In a world where everybody's doing the same, he's actually creative enough for not to do the same.
Well, and it's worth noting because
What
I
is the
remember.
one?
Oh, I remember that. The mainstream media for the most part they don't come out and say it that directly, but it's pretty obvious. They're like, "We hate Trump." Really? You sent a helicopter to watch his car go to the courthouse. You don't hate him that
And he's
much.
not paying PRs.
That's
And he's not paying PRs. He's saving more money in PRs than what he's making for the mugshot. Tell me right away. Think about Frank Sinatra. What is the thing that comes to your mind? John Frank Sinatra, mugshot. James Dean, mugshot. The mugshot is part of the celebrity status in America. Miley Cyrus, Winona Ryder. You have the mugshot. If you put mugshot, you Jim Morrison, actually Pablo Escobar, right? His mugshot was famous, and if you see it, it's like it's smiling. I was surprised that he was so tall. I don't have the luck to meet him. and this will probably backfire on me, and I don't mind. But the way before he become a politician, he was a person that I actually respected in business, and I learned from him how to open a company and understand the path of loans, development. So a lot of people said, and I'm not defending him. This is a personal point of view, right? I'm not defending no one. I don't give a damn about politics, and it's just my knowledge. A lot of people say, well, he started with $1 million. Well, I see a lot of people with $3 million that they throw it to the hell and they don't do anything.
Patrick
Bought a
Bet David.
property,
Yeah,
a
Patrick
trailer.
Patrick Bet David was talking to somebody about that fairly recent. No, actually, it's older, but he was talking to Cenk Uygur, however you say his name, Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks,
Oh
and
yeah, Geiger.
yeah, and Cenk was saying that too. He's like, yeah, well, we started with $4 million, and Patrick Bet David's like, yeah, man, but how many sons of billionaires do you know that made it? He's like, you can't think of one
Yeah,
because they all screw it up.
he's really smart. I think that Donald Trump is extremely smart. I don't know if he's capable or the right person to rule a country, but as a marketing guy, an idea guy, and a person that is three steps in front of everyone, he is. I mean, for God's sake, he was in Home Alone, and he's the only one that didn't get beaten by the kid. Everyone in that movie got hit by the kid, but Donald Trump,
He knew
right?
what was
So,
up. He saw that. He took one look at that kid and he was like, You're up to no good. I like it." um,
and I was surprised that he was so tall. He's 6'3".
I've heard doubts about that. Um, I've heard some people say he's more like 6'1", but that's what the official release. That's what the
Even
state.
so, 6'3" is Charles Barkley tall, the big man of rebound.
Yeah,
You
no,
know
I
Charles
think
Barkley
that's.
because you didn't sound like.
Oh no, I know who Charles Barkley is. I grew up in the '90s.
He's
Um,
not 5'7". Yes,
no,
he's not 5'7".
no.
Right. So anyway,
It's worth noting though, and we have video evidence of this. Oh, no, we don't because we didn't start the other podcast until 2020. But I was saying all throughout 2016, everybody was like, "Oh, there's Trump's not going to get the nomination." I was like, I don't know about that. And then he got
yeah.
then he got the nomination, and then there was like, "Well, he's not going to win. He's not going to be president." And I'm just like, "You guys are really underestimating. Trump is playing the media like a fiddle, and they're falling for it. This time they're falling for it on purpose because they know their ratings are going to go through the roof. But the first time, he played them so hard."
But think about it. We go back to where we're talking. They're just talking. What do you think a person covers news? Because he need to report to somebody to get a salary.
Mm-hmm.
That person is not thinking about society. He's thinking about he's making money because he needs to pay bills, right? A society like Finland, you work together. The crime rate is 2%. You know how much that is? It's 2%. It means like somebody dropped the wallet, somebody took it in the whole country. They work together. They work for a society, and that's why they have free education. Because in the long term, it will happen. The society that we're living is telling you, you want to study, you're gonna get in debt. You want to get married, you're gonna get in debt. You want to have your own business? Okay, we're gonna every movie in the world, our hero goes to the bank and says, "I got this idea," and they give him the money. In the
Bullshit.
real world, you go and they tell you, okay, yeah. In the real world, they tell you, I need at least $20,000 in the bank for the last 3 months to see if you will qualify. And I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. If we were less selfish and think about the greater good instead of thinking that our personal agenda, everything will be easier. Why Donald Trump is something that I respect about him. He wants to make his country great again. He's a nationalist. Uh, he's not. He doesn't have to be rich. He already got that. He doesn't have to marry the hot Russian model. He already got that, right? He actually wants to have a legacy.
He doesn't have to
Even
bang a
his daughter
porn.
is hot.
He doesn't have to bang a porn star. He already did that.
Yeah, he already did everything. So the last thing that he needs to do is be a good president this time. If the I think that the people are capable to select the best option. I don't agree how the media, for their personal agendas, don't inform the people. and try to control the narrative, and that is why Ahsoka sucks.
It depends. I keep saying this. If they and they really should, because now they don't even have an excuse for it. Although there are whispers of a certain type of lockdown coming back, you know, this fall. But they
Let's talk
really,
about that.
they really should, from a legal standpoint, they really should roll back the pandemic provisions for unsolicited mail-in ballots. Because I'll say it before and I'll say it again. I said it. You can go watch it. It's on the internet. I said if they allow unsolicited mail-in ballots, Joe Biden will win the White House. And lo and behold, because when you do that, I'm not saying it's election interference because technically it's not. It was they changed the rules.
Technically,
Technically it's not. It's manipulation, but they changed the rules. So you can ballot harvest that way, which ballot harvesting should be illegal. Period. So I just don't understand why you would want unsolicited ballots if you weren't planning on ballot harvesting. I'm fine with mail in ballots, but you have to request one. I'm fine with that. It's the unsolicited ones that I had a problem with because it skews it. And there's already like, I think it's somewhere around 50% of people in the country vote anyway. So it's only 50%. But so keep that in mind. Historically, 50% of the country goes to the polls and votes or early votes or does a mail in ballot. So that means 50% of people just can't be bothered until somebody comes to their door and says, hey, listen, if you just write your name on this thing, I'll leave and stop annoying you. And then they fill out the rest. Are you going to tell me with a straight face that didn't happen everywhere? Everywhere there was a big city with tons of apartment buildings and people
you know
are.
what the funny thing about that is that with the technology that we live today, you could do it online, so the numbers will be correct. We now every digital media asks us that about ourselves, asking us if we're humans, right? And we need to select to convince the machine that we're humans. We could do the same technology a little more advanced to have a real vote with your social security, and we will have a real number. But why we don't do it like that? It happens that we're not technology enough. 1 second. I don't know if you know this. And again, remember, this podcast is about everything in society, how it merged with TV. Season 3, episode 10 of the show Us, OC, is the Oswald Facility Penitentiary Correction, whatever. They talk about this really hard. People, the American system of the judge will send the African American, the Latino in that order from presence, and the white America to jail. Every time your day spend in jail, the person is not allowed to vote because they commit a crime. However, the number of the person inside the jail will be valid for the census for the numbers of voters. So that means for more people we have inside, those people, legally their vote doesn't count, but actually it's counting because they're part of a penitentiary federal institution. Just imagine that we have more than I think the number is 5 million prisoners in America at the time. 5 million. Those 5 million goes to whoever that is in power. Call it whoever, red or blue, right? Or pink, right? So what you're saying, and you're correct, if you want to go and vote with the ballots, that's fine. But somebody comes and knock at your door, it's not a way to confirm or deny that. There's not your social security number is supposed to put it. But let me tell something. I know Donald Trump, dear friend of mine. Yeah, I wish he's watching this.
Yeah, me too.
If you really want to win an election, you just gotta give every immigrant in the country their nationality, and you will win an election.
I
Because
think
there are more immigrants in this country.
I really think
that actually is another one.
Well, it depends on how quickly they could get them to citizenship status. I think it would be too late for this election. But I said from the beginning, I'm like, hey, Trump, if you want your border wall, attach an amnesty package to it. And that'll do one of two things. One, it'll either pass, and then you get your wall. And the people that are here anyway are now just, you just change their status. They're still here, but you just change their status, and now everybody theoretically should be happy. Or the Democrats vote against it, and then you can call them out. So it's a political win one way or another. Because then you can be like, oh, really? You're the party of immigration? I just offered amnesty for everyone who's here undocumented, and you voted no. Why? Over a wall? So it would have
Yeah,
been a
well, it's
win.
actually
It would have been
it
a
will be a
win-win.
win-win situation. And you know what? And economically will be better because all the undocumented, because you said correctly, I call them illegal because I'm Latino, so fuck it, right?
I have to be
Undocumented
conscious.
people.
I have to be conscious.
I
Look at
know
how
you're fine.
pale I am.
Yeah, I know, I know. You have a Latino homie. You can say that. It's fine. Um, the if every one of the undocumented pay their taxes, everyone will be in another place. So the world and maybe many Latinos that they are not documented. I'm not talking about their documents. I mean like cultural documented and understand the world is not a bad thing. My family flew in a plane that cost. We pay lawyers that cost money. We follow the regulations. We pay taxes. I got all the rights to say, dude, fucking jump the fence. Don't. Dude, if I imagine that you work your whole life to have a house and you have this beautiful house and then somebody jump from the back door and come and sit down in your living room, you will kick the shit out of him. And you will have all the right in a human perspective. But if that guy comes and say, you know what, I don't have a place to live. This is who I am. Probably you're not gonna say, welcome, you can have sex with my wife. But probably you will say, you know what, you can sleep in the couch and you build a friendship for life. But in the moment that we start selecting our visitors based in their status, not in their humanity, that's where everything goes to hell. Because probably, and again, going to movies, do you know the story about, okay, you're going to help me with this. It's an old one. Kevin Costner, first Oscar, Buffalo Tatanka. Cry with Wolves
Oh, Dances with Wolves.
movie, Dances with Wolves. You know the story about Dances with Wolves? I just listened to it with Kevin Costner because I was watching a little documentary about Yellowstone. Fantastic show. Go
Yeah.
go watch Yellowstone, the third season. Um, this guy was his friend. He didn't have money to survive. Kevin Costner was there. He was already the pretty boy with Bodyguard with the Houston. He was somebody known in the industry, but he wasn't the recognition main star yet, right? And probably I'm mixed on the facts of the movie, but he was famous, but not mega famous. And his friend told him, "Man, I don't have a place to live." He told him, "You can sleep in my couch. I'm married. I have kids. Calm down." So that guy was writing all day. Let me sleep in your couch because I'm writing this amazing thing. And he's like, you know what? After 4 months that you're in your sleepers, in underwear, having the house like a mess, you don't pick up anything. I need you to leave. And he's like, man, I'm writing. How much have you written? It's not yet. Let me read it. No, it's not. So he moved the guy to the garage. 6 months later, the same story. Told him, man, it's not me. It's my wife. You need to go. So he lived 2 months in the car, returned and said, man, I'm exhausted. Let me sleep in the couch. Here it is, what I wrote for you. That was Dance with Wolves. He helped somebody, and that guy, that everybody was annoyed of him, make him a mega star with Academy Awards like crazy. If you guys haven't seen that movie,
It's very good.
it's a really good movie.
It's very good.
And the whole script, the characters, the development. Again, if you have money, do best. They did best. And I don't know if I can want to jump into this deep, but probably at least once a month, I suffer racism as a Latino in America nowadays. At least.
Really, in California, land of the
It's,
tolerant?
no. Actually, I travel a lot.
Oh,
but I
that's right. Yeah.
suffered in Seattle, in Portland, in California, of course, New York, for God's sake, in many places. And when I say this to our audience and to you, I'm not playing the victim. Me, Virus, the victim. Fuck, I don't. Right? It's not my style. But the simple fact, if I explain it to you, of course, you are my co-host, and we have a level of communication deep, right? But the white America that isn't racist doesn't understand it because thanks God they're not racist. They go like, what?
I
Really?
I
No,
I'm
they
a
don't
I'm
even mean
a
it.
I'm a product of that because I have a story for you. When it wasn't the first time I saw it, but it was the first time I realized how much of it I miss. But please go on.
So my point is, imagine that when you contact us for the first time to the band again, and we talk over the phone, and you go like, oh, he has an accent. You hang up the phone. You don't understand it, you see,
I
because you
don't.
are not racist. A racist person will hang up the phone on me, and he will miss a friendship, a project, dreams together because we judge the person for their race, gender, or color, right? Let me tell you the truth, audience. Stupidity and arrogance comes in all colors and all sizes. Same happened with politics and with movies. I love what they're doing with the industry, putting women, transgenders, African American. What the fuck are the Latinos? We can't even rise because if we go, every Latino in America is proof that at least in a second degree has an illegal person in their family and undocumented. So we cannot get together, gather like the Bill of Rights says, because they will call ICE and they will take half of the people out. I know it's funny. It's really funny. You want to stop Latinos? Just call ICE. You don't have to call the force. You're gonna call ICE, right? So, and there's not a movement of Latinos because the Latinos has their hands, their wings so cut out because of that. That is really deep. I highly recommend a movie, Diego Luna, Cesar Chavez, the movie of Cesar Chavez. It's in Netflix. Watch it so people understand why we, in America, we celebrate the Cinco de Mayo. That is not the revolution of Mexico or independence. I think we talk about this. I don't remember. It was in the hidden podcast and the secret podcast or this one.
I don't think we talked about Cinco de
See,
Mayo.
well, so for people to understand this and watch this movie, so we'll be clear. Let me phrase something. Not all my education is movies, but I'm trying to be empathic with the show. In Mexico, Cinco de Mayo doesn't mean anything. There was a little battle in Puebla, in Mexico. The country Puebla is a little town, like 2 hours away from the city. When the French attack, Mexicans beat the French millennials ago. So for Mexico, it's a normal day, right? A holiday, nothing big. In the States, Cinco de Mayo, they call it the Independence Mexican Day. It's not.
Mm-mm,
The
no.
Mexican Independence Day is September 16th. Well, it's not.
Yeah.
Because
They don't.
actually, it's when in Cesar Chavez was the first, and look how beautiful circle, was the first syndicate. It was, right? It was a, uh, he created the first syndicate for the Latinos in the undocumented to be able to open bank accounts. So Julio Cesar Chavez is the Latino Hofa, and so that's what they celebrate: the independence of the work of the boss that was paying under minimum wage and all that. So now they have um, a syndicate is the word, right? I lose the word.
Yeah, a
So
syndicate.
that to represent a
A
union. That's
union.
the word that I was
You're
looking
talking
for.
about representative union. Yeah.
They have the first union for Latinos undocumented that they were able to open a bank account, and they with the bank account they could become documented. This is 1936, I think, around that area. So that's what we celebrate Cinco de Mayo is the independence of the bosses that undermine our labor. So now you know cultural data for the
You
day.
you learn something new every episode of Toon Talk 2.0. But real quick, I will say it made me feel good when Despacito, without the Justin Bieber bullshit at the beginning, was getting major radio play, which by the way I believe still holds the record for the most viewed video on YouTube ever. I think it
Probably,
still
probably.
holds. I think it still holds the record, but like it's not like no Spanish song had ever been on the radio before, but I when Despacito was getting major, almost constant radio play in the United States, I was like, this is fantastic. I've always been a fan of international music. The language itself never bothered me, and I was the weird kid in high school. I had like 8 languages on my iPod when I still had an iPod. But that made me extremely happy when that happened. But the story I was going to tell you, a few years ago, I had a girlfriend whose family was originally from Michoacan, Mexico, and
Yeah.
we were just sitting. She had been talking about she wanted to get a small dog. I have a big pit bull, but she wanted to get a small one. And I said, I don't really care, but I don't want anything to do with it. That's your gig, whatever. So she's looking on Facebook, and she just kind of did that whole, how girls do. She goes this, and I'm like, what's wrong, babe? She's like, well, I messaged these people, but they're not getting back to me, and I think they're racist. And that sounded so weird to me because I'm like, I'm a dirty capitalist pig. The only color I give a shit about is green. Like, so I'm like, what are you talking about? They're racist. They want to sell puppies. She's like, well, you message them. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to message them just to prove a point. Because what it was, she'd been messaging them for a couple of days and they weren't responding back. So I messaged her. I'm like, I'm going to show you. I sent him a
And they
message.
respond right away.
5 seconds later. And I like,
Yeah, of course.
and I was just like, holy shit. Like it's one of those things where like racism is real, but a lot of a lot of white people, frankly, we don't see racism on a daily basis, so we don't look for it. Certainly, it has to
They don't
hit.
recognize it.
Yeah, well, it has to hit us in the face. It has to affect somebody that we know and we're close to. Now I look out for it, but that was the first time where I realized how common it still is.
And again, I'm not saying that everyone is a racist. I don't say that everyone don't deserve, right, not to be attacked. Like, what is the name of this singer? What is over in my mind? Then Tekashi 69.
Mm-hmm.
I will be racist against him, and I'm Latino. I mean, the guy
Well, yeah,
is
but
like the worst of society.
Latinos can be racist against
A
other
Latino.
Latinos.
We are, but we're classists. But the point is, there's people that deserve it. Like it's amazing white people and amazing brown people, right? I don't even consider myself brown. I'm tan. I tan every day to look like this. I'm not as white as you, but I tan a lot.
I mean,
Just for the
I look as though I don't really have a pigment, so
yeah. So just for you to know, Despacito still till the day number second, compared with 8.23 billion views. So the whole world at least saw it once. And the first one, as soon as I say it, that will be stuck in our hand in our hat is Baby Shark, Baby Shark,
no. Actually,
thirteen point
that
eight billion.
that actually makes sense, but at least it's not Bad Bunny.
Well, like another point, Bad Bunny is somebody that I will highly recommend for you people to erase it. I can't stand the guy. Remember, I can't stand the guy. Then Shape of You, you wouldn't believe that Ed Sheeran is number five with 6.605.
Oh,
Then
white
See You Again with Wiz Khalifa
white guy at
and
number
Charlie
3,
Puth.
shocker.
No. Number three actually is Johnny Jazz Papa. It's a kids thing. I never see it before. Number four is Bad Song by Cocomelon Nursery Rhymes. Then number five, Shape of You. Number six, See You Again with Wiz Khalifa featuring Charlie Puth. Then Wilson the Boss, again, is a kids thing. Number seven, Phonics with two words with for kids, of course. Then, wow, I didn't see this coming. Number 9 is Uptown Funk with Mark Robson featuring Bruno Mars.
Really?
This is surprising. This is what happened when somebody steals something from Marvin Gaye games. Then number 10, Learning Colors, again a kids stuff, and that's the top 10. So what are we doing? We need to have a podcast about kids. That's how we need to do.
Well, clearly YouTube is the babysitter of all babysitters.
Yeah, it is. It is. Oh, wow, that's crazy. You know what? Despacito. It's never been a song that I like. I don't like reggaeton personally. The record label gave me a really good song, like sound like Despacito. No, not before Despacito. It's called A Mamacita, right? And I never wanted to record it. It wasn't my thing. I recorded it, sounded like crap. They said that they like it. I didn't want to do that. But I'm really proud of Luis Fonsi. Actually, when I was a solo artist back in Latin America, we did. I mean, we weren't friends, but we hang in the backstage. We did a couple of concerts together, probably 5 concerts with the radio stations. He's a really good guy. He's always in shape. I don't know how he can do that. Like he's always in shape. That guy is like always in shape, and he's really small. So it's
No,
not
I I
6 feet.
I
It's
like I
big.
like I like Luis Fonsi, a lot of his music, but I'm kind of like you. I don't love reggaeton as a genre, but there's a handful of songs that I like. Like I do like Despacito. I understand how it got famous. Um, but yeah, there's other artists that yawn sing for a living who shall remain nameless and don't understand how they're famous. But my only real big issue with reggaeton is the fact that it's all the same. Like it all even has the same
I don't.
beat and
I'm gonna. But you know why, right?
oh, because it works. Like if it's
Because
not
it's
broke, I'll fix it.
cheaper.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Of
and
course it's
because
cheaper.
it's cheaper. It's cheaper. It's one guy that plays the track, and one that is like hip hop. Hip hop is something that I don't get. I get that it's an expression. It will be the bard, like from the Middle Eve. It will be the bard nowadays. And when the hip hop talks about social expression, I'm all in. When it becomes trap music, right? It's not my thing at all. But again, I'm not a. I actually there's a new band from Ashes to Dust. I think that's the band. Really good band that they merge hip hop with metal. Really good and funny. We guide ourselves to the last topic of the show, music.
I read the
Uh,
outline.
there you go. Thank you, because I was totally into the strikes and the unions and yeah. Today's been a tough day, guys. It's it's been a tough day. As you guys, I don't know if you guys know, but guess what? Iona Waterloo Star Wars, and
You don't say.
we're opening and that's part of being worried about the people. We have a big contract. We got more than 200 properties to clean around the nation. The business is good. Thank to our partners, Elevated Living. We're good. But I say, why we need to stop there? Why we don't open 38% of the company so people can buy it? We're not an IPO. For people that doesn't know what IPO is, when you got enough revenue and you have a good track, you can go public. When you go public, people sell your shares. That's called a public share. We're selling part of our company in a private share. You need to have an accredited investor, but doing that is to change the culture of saving water. It's not because we need the money, but the only way that you protect your things is why when it becomes yours. So it's been a day that I've been trying to explain that to the board, to the lawyers, because you mentioned Henry Ford, my biggest nemesis. But let me do it again. Henry Ford. Henry Ford, as you people know, built the cars, and we make an analysis with Harvard University about culture and how culture evolves, but traditions don't. Isn't that crazy?
I
So
wouldn't
you know what
say
people
I wouldn't say they don't, but they certainly evolve much more slowly.
slowly. So humor me on this. You know what people clean their cars with water?
Oh, why do they? No, I do not.
Assume. Assume that you are Mr. Thomas and I'm Mr. Smith, and we just bought our first car from Henry Ford. And we jump in the first car, the first, and I told you, oh, my dear friend, will you jump in? Oh, of course. Do you mind if I take the wheel? Be my guest. And then we go and it's like, oh, bollocks, this is fantastic. And then we go, right? And then we go, and everyone is looking at us, being all amazed. It's the only car in the city. And then after 20 minutes, that's it, because the cities were small. And all the ranchers and all the cowboys, what they do when they pass next to you? Oh, look at that young man, sir. And the other guy's like, what's up? Where are you going? Oh, we're going to the river. We need to take the horses to drink water. Fantastic. Let's have a nice chat over there. And they move the wheel, and the people were used to have a conversational business in the bars, canteens, and next to the water because the horses need to drink water. So they brought the cars there with the knowledge. I'm not kidding, guys. This is research. With the knowledge, and they pour water to the wheels so they don't overheat, like the pawns of the horses. And suddenly somebody decide to try in the chassis and clean it with water. Obviously, it wasn't another technology, right? But you could, back in the day, weren't roads, right? It was like moment of dust. That's why they had the amazing goggles, right? Oh, Jake, allow me. We're gonna go to a dirty road, right? And then the little bumpy roads, right? And I'm enjoying this. And that's what they brought it to the river because it's where the negotiations and the thing happen. And they pour water in the wheels, not to overheat when they wouldn't overheat, but they keep going close to the water and they start cleaning the cars with water next to the river. I want you to understand the context of all this. It wasn't car washes, right? It wasn't the culture of cleaning. It was the culture of take the horse to the river and put water on him to refresh him, let him put his pawns in the water. I don't know if it's correctly to say pawns for horses, but his iron, whatever. What
Mm-hmm.
is the name of
Oh, the
the
hoof.
horseshoe? It was iron.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was caught. So they needed to put it in the water to cool it down. So that's what they start pouring water into the cars to make it shiny. So thank you, Henry Ford. You didn't put a manual saying you don't need to put water in the wheels. And that's how everything started evolving. And somebody saw a business there. Obviously, they start cleaning the cars. And years later, we spend like 200 gallons of water every time we clean a car. You know how much that is? 2 gallons? 200 gallons of water?
That's a
It's
lot.
crazy.
That's a lot.
But and all of this, you can see it in many movies, but The Life of Henry Ford will be a good option in Amazon Prime. And again, not my whole knowledge is based in movies, but a lot it is.
Okay.
Um, but
Going
let's go
back,
back to
yeah.
music. I
I had a question I wanted to ask you. Have you heard the song "Rich Men East of Richmond" yet, or north of
nope.
Richmond? Nope. Okay. I was curious because I think it's still number one on the Billboard charts, and I understand how, but I'm gonna catch hate from some people for this. The song's the shits. Like it's not good, but it's number one on the
Yeah.
Billboard charts because it's not good musically. Culturally, it makes perfect sense. It's a
What is the
real
name of the song?
Rich Men North of Richmond.
Okay, keep going.
I mean, it's just
Okay, I got it.
Everybody's been talking about
Oh
this
yeah,
song.
yeah, yeah. I know Oliver Anthony. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
know. 48 million views, and yeah, I remember. I remember. I saw the Oliver Anthony thing. It's everywhere. Yeah, I haven't listened to it. What it's about? Don't tell me Richmond on the north of Richmond, please.
I mean,
Just tell me what it's about.
it's essentially, but that's because Washington D.C. is north of Richmond, Virginia, and it's basically about how the upper, which the song's dead on. It's not wrong. It's just musically, it's but it's capturing a feeling that a lot of Americans have, and that's that all these wealthy politicians who are claiming to be fighting for the average American have no friggin' idea what the average American's going through, and it shows based upon their policy. That's essentially what it's pointing at.
So
So
I'm reading the lyrics. Just the chorus says, "Living in the new world with an old soul. These rich men of North Richmond, Lord know they just want to have a total control. Want to know what you think, want to know what you do. They don't think you know, but I know that you do. Because the dollar ain't shed and it's taxed to no end. Because of rich men north of Richmond. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay." Yeah, but here's some point.
yeah, no, but I mean
I mean,
the song's on point. It's just musically it's kind of but the song's getting rave reviews because let's be real, and very few people would admit this. If because he's been a musician for a while, this isn't new for him. He's been doing it for a long time. This particular song just hit at the right time of the culture and is resonating with people. So, but he's getting praise for musicianship when it's like, no, you really just you tapped into the zeitgeist is all
yeah.
that you did. And how many times has that happened, right? There have been tons of number one hits where you're like, really this? But then you understand it's not because the music is good necessarily. It's because it's tapped into the culture somehow.
The political message and the narrative, but with rhythm and things. Something that you're right. I will listen to it. I mean, it's not my genre of music, but I listen to everything, right? But the lyrics are interesting enough for me to listen to it. Music is another side of expression of what we're living. I don't know. Remember this band, and again, you guys know that I know, but I forget the names. Um, I wish go back in time to the good old day. Remember that song? If my
Yeah,
mama said
yep. I can't remember who it
that
is
band,
though.
20 Pilots, I remember. You see, I just need to sing 20 Pilots. I remember the name of the song, Go Back in Time. Everybody knows the song. It was so perfect because it's exactly like what we're talking about Endor. It hits you right away. It hits you because you really just want to be a kid again. Tell me, maybe not Donald Trump, but besides him, everyone wants to be a kid again and dream about astronauts, and she don't have to worry about bills, pressure, because life is complicated. Humans will make it more complicated because everything is constructed. So music is a form of expression of the times that we're living since forever. Remember the caveman?
Like, is that a
Remember the
song
movie
or?
The Caveman with Ring?
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah,
no.
yeah,
Remember
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
movie Caveman by Ringo Starr? Oh, oh, it's fantastic. Do 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 do. Really good movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a must-watch movie. A lot of friend of mine, I don't do any drugs or alcohol, but a lot of friend of mine will tell you to enjoy a joint. Meanwhile, you watch it and you go someplace else. I don't do it. I watch it sober all the time, but it's a really funny movie. But the representation of music is being with and rhythms is being with us since forever. The example is the song that you just uh, kindly showed me. What we're living nowadays is a reflection. If you listen to metal music, it's a more aggressive version of the needs of the public. The intention of the people when they have pop music, right, that is popular, right, it's because they need a distraction for all the cloud and Taylor Swift. She narrates the experience of every girl growing up. That's why she's so good. She narrates every step of every relationship that she has, right? Justin Bieber was up, being a kid star, then down, and then he established as a good actor, as a good singer, when he starts singing about his real life. Actually, I start liking the guy because he started writing about because we find empathy on that. Nowadays, we have a really good movement of rock going back really hard. Ariana Grande is doing rock. Can you believe that? Miley
What?
Cyrus plays. Yes, sir.
Really? Don't
Well,
don't.
not heavy metal.
Oh, I know, but
Not heavy metal, but
don't tease me, sir. I'm an Ariana Grande fan.
I know that's what I mentioned. That Miley Cyrus in every show that she does live, her band is a rock band, and she rocks. And I mean, it's not overdrive; it's distorting the guitars and everything. Even Taylor Swift, a little bit. She's not gonna leave her genre at all. There's another amazing singer that she's pop. What is the name of this girl? Black hair, really pretty in the face. Same like Ariana Grande and all that. Oh my god. I always like the way. Well, anyway, you listen to her song, her album, and it's a rock album, and they actually have the
Oh, is
pop
it?
edition and the rock edition.
Are you talking about
Say
Demi
that again.
Lovato? Are you talking about Demi Lovato?
Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato. Oh, even my phone fade. You see, the
Oh,
phone was
Demi.
holding. Demi.
Never let it be said. Demi Lovato is a rocker, not metal, obviously, but she's more rock than pop. She's like pop rockish, but I would say she leans more rock.
And now the album has a rock version of everything, and you're listening to their songs. They're really good. And I'm a metal guy,
Yeah.
right? I'm the for people that doesn't know, I'm the lead singer for a band called Again.
You know, let me tell you though.
I
I've
just
got to
need to
let me tell you about this awesome band I know called Again. They've got this song right, and they're like, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, but really like when I think I told you this already, but if not, like it's not bad. But it's just like, you know, the reason I followed you guys was because you know how it is. You're online and a bunch of people are like, "Oh yeah, I'm an actor, or I'm this, or I have a band. You should check out our music." And it's like I will always check it out, but a lot of the times it's kind of eh. But I listened to your guys' music and I was just like, immediately I'm like, okay, this is different in a good way. I think I listened to Turned first, and then I think the third song I listened to was Kamikaze, and it hit way different. Like Kamikaze is my kind of music. I like that really intense, almost deep rock, and it's just it hit me like bam. It honestly, and again, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. This is 100% real.
Oh
The
no, no, go ahead. You can keep blowing the
well, no,
smoke, man. That's fine.
this is a true story. I was a late bloomer when it came to being into music. I didn't get it. Like I would listen to music, but I was never like obsessed. And all my friends and my sister were just like, "Oh my god, like I'm obsessed with this album, or I'm obsessed with this artist." Then I can't remember if I bought it or if somebody gave it to me, but I bought Disturbed's first album, and that's when it clicked for me. I was like, "Oh, I get it now." When I listened to Kamikaze for the first time, it was the same feeling I had when I listened to Stupefy for the first time.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
It's good music, and that's why I listen to Kamikaze, and I listen to all of your music a lot, but Kamikaze always makes its way around fairly often.
I know I talk about this, but I'm going to tell you about how we made Kamikaze, not why we made Kamikaze. It's really funny because Ego wasn't in that session because he got so doing something. I'm with Sensei only, and I'm doing this. Every singer that is in a band will understand that when the other guys in the band are getting ready to rehearse or to make a song, is the most painful time because they go everyone is playing their own thing, and I'm going crazy. And I sit down just to avoid the noise, and I start going. That's what I was doing, and suddenly Cesar playing those notes. And in that time, we have a great friend of ours. His name is Gasu. He's a legend in Latin America. He will be like Beck in Latin America, right? And he was there with us. I said, why don't you help us to make a song? Ego is not here. You're a guitar player. He's like, yeah, sure. In a point, we talked that he can come and play with us, but he got this tour and everything. So he started playing, and I think he said, can we just not make it 4 quarters and we can make it like a waltz? Actually, Kamikaze is a waltz. It's pin, 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 pin. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then he started playing. He's like, what notes do you want? And said, no, the notes are these ones. I've been listening to him singing. And meanwhile, they're putting it together. Gasu phone's ring, and it's his ex-wife. And his ex-wife hangs up the phone. He got like 3 ex-wives. He's a rock star. And guess who goes and tell me, I'm sick of the same stuff. He said in Spanish. I'm so annoyed by the same. I go like, keep going. I remember I grabbed my piece of paper, right? A notebook, and he was telling me the problems with the ex-wife. And I was translating in English as he was speaking. And they said, well, let's try this. And I start singing it like that with the thought of my dad and all what it means, the song to me. But that's how kamikaze, and then the original song chorus, it only say kamikaze once. And Gasu looked at me. Ego was there at that moment. He arrived late, right? Everything is good. And I was singing kamikaze, I can find my way home. Blah, blah, blah. I can, it was a different matter. And Gasu told me, do you know what I got so many Grammys? I go like, I don't know, to suck somebody's cock. All right. Uh, yeah, that's me, people. Thank you. Deal with that. 18 and older, this podcast. And he told me, no, because do you know what Kiss means? And I'm asking you this. You know what the band Kiss means?
Mm-hmm.
Why it's called Kiss? Do you know why?
Well, the prevailing theory was Knights in Satan's Service, correct? But was there an actual story behind that?
Are you ready? Paul Stanley said one, keep it simple, stupid. That's what Kiss means for them. Marketing wise, I don't know. So he told me, Max, do you know what Kiss means? I go like, no. I go like, what? He told me, keep it simple, stupid. Just repeat the thing. Kamikaze is a powerful word. I go like, okay. And that's how Kamikaze born. No, not the why, that's the how it born. It was a really good song. It's one of my favorites of the album. I like it. I mean, what can I say? It's mine. But thank you for the flowers and
Yeah.
talking good about the song. For now, remember every time you say again, you gotta look up because that's how Nina gotta put the song there, so she doesn't have to edit. Um,
And where can they listen to it, Virus?
oh, it's really hard to find it. Just type again Kamikaze. It's really easy everywhere. Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Amazon Music, Gora Gora, whatever the platforms in Asia that I don't know, but we're everywhere. And the band is going on tour soon. We're waiting in immigration papers, but guess what? The union is on a strike. Thank you. So we need to wait because we're performers. So we need to wait more.
Yeah,
But
I was
whatever it will be when it will be, probably gonna tour for the second album. That bad it is.
yeah. Well, be sure to let me know when you're in or around my area.
Do you mean in your living room?
Well, no, well, I mean, no, but
I
sure.
know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I mean,
No, no. Of course, of course.
I do have an empty lot that could be used for a concert space. It's small, but it is there.
Oh, only if we do it for free for the people.
Hey, I mean, I got neighbors that play music into the weird hours of the morning. You won't have any complaints, but there might be gunshots. Not gonna lie.
It's fine. Whatever. We'll deal with the problems. But you know what? Going back to the music nowadays and the aspect of the generations, how they adapt into music, I like it right now. It's been 10 or 15 years of the rock be undermined by hip hop and reggaeton. So I don't know if you know, but the first song of reggaeton is was released by a guy called the General.
Mm-mm.
I think was from Cuba or Puerto Rico, and the name of the song was, maybe I'm confused, but the name, he's known as the father of reggaeton. It was 1990 or 1988. So reggaeton has been around for a while. And of course, it comes from a base of reggae, right? The notes, right? Bob Marley and way back to Jamaica. So it's been they climbed their way up reggaeton, but thanks God they're going their way out. And rock is coming over. Hopefully, we don't oversaturate the space. There's amazing bands that they haven't stopped playing rock, like Distort. New bands like The Warning, this trio of Mexican girls, really good. Avenged Sevenfold, believe it or not, is the Metallica for this generation and the past. They're really good. They're really good. I love them. They've been together 20 years. Can you believe that? Listen what I'm saying. Avenged
Yeah,
Sevenfold, they've been playing together 20 years. So now what's happening to music is that new bands are coming, merging, not reggaeton, but merging hip hop with rock, and they're flowing so good. Now, for all the ones that are watching this and they say, "Yeah, right, hip hop with rock," yeah, it's called the Beastie Boys. Don't get fucking excited.
Yeah,
It's been around for 20 years, right?
Beastie Boys, Limp Bizkit. Yeah.
Yeah, Limp Bizkit. I hadn't thought about Limp Bizkit. It just came to our mind, the Beastie Boys. And before that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Aerosmith with Ron MC.
Oh, Run
They
DMC.
didn't. They did a
Yeah.
Ron DMC.
Well,
But anyway, so
even groups like NWA, I'm not saying like it wasn't rock, but it was very aggressive, like gangster
yeah.
rap. It had that edge to it, so it has a rock esque feel to it, or at least a heavy feel to it. So I don't know if you'd consider that a complete merging of genres, but I mean it's closer to rock than like regular hip hop was at the time.
Well, yeah, it's a mix. So it's Marvel and DC Comics making a thing, right?
Hey,
It's Spider-Man and
they,
Superman in a comic,
hey,
right?
they did crossovers. It happened.
It happened. Crossovers are one of my favorite things of the entertainment music industry. Crossovers are my favorite thing, and that take me to talk about covers. The cover songs. We just made a cover that we make an. I don't know if you had the chance to review it. It's exclusively in our TikTok thread. Is the cover for the song? I mean, from the movie Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg. The song "We
It's
All Die Young." We made a cover.
guys, it's so good. It's
Thank you, thank
so
you.
good. Like I did hear, or at least part of it. I haven't heard the whole song, but it's good.
We made a special video in the um, TikTok format, and it's just exclusively in TikTok. We're not gonna release that video anywhere. That video was a weird thing that I created one night. I called some friends and make it happen. Uh, I have this guy, this actor, Frank is his name. He's Hawaiian. He lives in Ohio. He was in LA at the time. The guy's like 340 pounds, and he's like 6'4". And I have a he's portraying a zombie, and I got a fist fight against him. I watched this movie, and again, we go to the movies, right? I think I need a life. There's a movie called, I'm gonna go way back, The Night of the Living Dead, of course, by Joe Romero. When they released that movie, they were an independent artists that decide to make a movie. And hopefully, you know what? Maybe next podcast we can talk about all the those movies. But they never registered the concept of zombie. So if you want to make a zombie movie, you can use it without paying any rights. 2007, 15 probably, there's a movie, a French movie called The Horde, right? The Horde. Have you seen it? Fantastic movie. And something that I never seen before is that a guy is a rush. Is everything happens inside a building? You know, same thing. Night of apocalypse. Everything is going to hell, and everything is happening in a building. So you have people that escape, some criminals, some refugees in France. There's a lot of Russian refugees in France and so many Nigerians in France. So it's crazy, the accents. It's a really good movie, but the Russian guy, he's a mean, badass, Bruce Lee kind of a style, and he started killing zombies with his bare hands. That shocked me so much because I never seen that. I mean, the guy's smart enough not to hit the teeth, but go poof. Okay, so I muted. I hit
Yeah.
myself and muted my microphone. So, so it gave me such an impact. It's like, oh man, this is new, and it's a really good movie. Watch it if you can. I'm pretty sure it's in Amazon Prime. The Orc. You will not see not even one famous person, but it's really, really good if you like horror genre. And then when I was doing We All Die Young, I think the perspective of every cover needs to be not about the song itself, but the perspective of the new band that is portraying that. So We All Die Young for me is a night that you need to survive because the apocalypse is coming. So that being said, I fight against a 6'4", 350-pound zombie in the video. I don't know if you watch it, but it's amazing. I mean, the guy was heavy. When he hit me for the first time, he sent me in my butt, and I was laughing because I'm all prepared right in the shot. I take the jacket, go like this, and he tackled me, and I like really flew like, oh! He's like, oh, sorry, and I like, it was really funny. Um, I got a lot of people there. I don't remember their names, but it was really fun, right? Because a friend invited a friend, and then another friend, and when we were gonna shoot something, it finished to be something really good. We shot it in one of the apartments where we cleaned the cars, so we got access to the whole parking lot at night with the permit of the production. I mean, of the administration. It was really fun to shoot, and we did a special video just for TikTok followers. And if you guys want to see it, just go to again rock again underscore again underscore rock underscore band, and you can see it there. Hopefully you like it. I don't know if you remember the song, the movie Rockstar, but that's movie. I like it so much, and I always wanted to sing that song. It's a really hard song.
It's
It's really hard to sing.
you did good.
I don't know if I do it right. Thank you. I don't know if I did it right or wrong, but it was a dream come true. And I called Ego and I said I want to make a cover, and he told me no, he doesn't do covers. Ego doesn't do covers. So time passes, and he told me, "Hey, I need an accountant for my divorce." I go like, "I got the best one, but only if you make the cover." And he told me, "I hate you so much." And I sent him the song that he never listened to that song before. He didn't know that it was Zach Wild. He didn't know that it was the bass player for Engelman's team. He didn't know anything. So it was a really good song. He returned it, then said, "Play the bass," and then we rock it. He did a good job with the guitars. It's just a fun thing for us to do, so we wanted to share it with you. And I don't know if you want to add, what is your favorite rock cover from another band? Doesn't matter what genre, that is a cover.
It's hard to say because there's a lot of songs out there that are covers, but people don't realize they're covers. Like I had a you'll appreciate this. Same ex girlfriend. I'm sitting in a oh god, my Spanish is failing me. Carnitas. I'm sitting in a restaurant for carnitas,
Tornadoes.
and which funny story. I
That's
ate.
fried pork people.
Oh, I don't know. I ate so many I couldn't even look at one for like 3 months. It made me sick. But anyway, we're sitting there. I'm stuffing my face, and then I hear a Spanish version of. Actually, I heard two songs. I heard Juan Sebastian's Rumores, which I fell in love with that song instantly. But the one I heard first that stuck out to me was I heard a cover of Last Kiss, but well, it was the Spanish version. But I recognized the melody, and I said to my girlfriend, I'm like, "Oh, I love this song," and she looks at me weird, and she's like, "You've heard this song?" And I'm like, "Well, not this version, the original version." She's like, "What do you mean this is the original version?" And I went, "No, no, 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 it's not." And she's like, "Yes, it is." And we had this argument. I'm like, "No, no, no. I first heard this song when Pearl Jam covered it, but obviously that was a cover of a cover of a cover of a cover."
Yeah.
And I had done research, and I'm like, "No, this song goes back to like the 50s, honey." And she's like, "Well, the Spanish version is so old." I'm like, "I'm telling you right now, the original is American, and then there was probably a Spanish version covered because I know during that time period there was a lot of taking popular American songs and covering them in Spanish."
It
So,
was a whole movement, but they didn't use the same lyrics.
right,
In
right,
that one, yes, but they don't even tropicalize it. For those people that didn't never finish high school, tropicalizes. I'm just kidding. Um, is when you adapt the necessities of the song and the lyrics without losing the tempo and the melody, and adapt it to the society that is going to be played for. Uh, in the case of music, it can be used in many other factors. They changed so many, right? But it was a movement in the 50s. But you're right. That song is the original is from an American band,
yeah. But I'm
and it
sitting
was
here,
portrayed by Leo Dan.
yeah. But I'm pulling up Wikipedia on my phone in a foreign country, and I'm like, "Look, I told you." But yeah,
That's so funny.
she was mad at me after that. But I'm like, why are you mad? I was right.
Well, a Latina was mad at you for being right. Sure.
It happened a few times. Not gonna lie. Well, and that was a weird thing too. And it's not her fault. It's how she was raised. Because when she was younger, her parents were basically like, if it's not from Mexico, it's shit. So there was a lot of stuff
Yeah.
that she'd never been exposed to, and I was like, "What do you mean?" And like she grew up here, like so I was like, "What? Did you not have a childhood?" And she's like, "No, but I mean, yes, but my childhood was spent watching, like Univision and Galavision and all these, all the it was all
Everybody,
Mexico."
everybody, everybody knows that when I'm talk. I mean, you just need to listen to me. I raise my voice a lot. So I do that because I cannot use my throat because then when I rehearse, I'm fucked. So I gotta talk with my diaphragm all the time, and that's part of you get used to sing like that. I've been singing since I'm 12. But you know what is really funny? If you watch the news in Univision and America at the same time, and let's say Italy, let's say Japan, and they're saying the same news. American is like, today Donald Trump was caught. He got a mugshot, right? Then you go to Italian, is like, I can't believe it. Donald Trump, right? It's really expressive. Then the Japanese are like, Donald Trump, the president, really serious. But Latinos, holy shit, they're yelling to the microphone like I'm doing all the time because the culture is yelling to the microphone and you're angry to the microphone. So it's really funny to notice that. At least I saw it in the news. But yeah, you're right. Is every culture is different. There's a cover that I like a lot. Limp Bizkit Behind Blue Eyes from The Who.
That's a good one.
A lot of people don't understand that sometimes there's a lot of people in TikTok that put the example of the original song and how somebody make it famous later and nobody sue nobody. That is called international rights to preserve the property for the artist. So they belong to the same publishing label or to the same record label. So the A&R says, you know what, I got this song that you need to use in your own style. So the artist and us, we don't lose the international rights. Just for you to know.
You just reminded me. I'm
Please.
Yeah, I talking about covers. There's a cover artist who he does original stuff too, but I found him on YouTube. This guy is amazing. His name is Paulo Cuevas. I believe he's from Mexico. This dude is amazing. He started covering mostly anime openers, but he's got a sick cover of Chandelier by Sia, and he does a really good Hello
Okay.
from Adele. But my favorite cover of his, because he makes it kick so much ass, he does a metal cover of the opening theme from Sailor Moon.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, it is
That's not
awesome.
nerdy at all, but it's cool.
Oh, it's
And
it's
there's
oh, but
go ahead, go ahead.
he also did a reimagined cover of. Okay, so you're a Dragon Ball fan, so you know when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 for the first time.
Yeah.
In the original Japanese, Toho, no, Toei Animation, Toho's Godzilla. Toei Animation commissioned an original song called Unmei no Hi that played, which the Japanese is way better when Gohan transforms compared to the American Funimation version because it's just so much more
Okay.
epic. But when Dragon Ball Z Abridged, are you familiar with that?
I don't recall.
Okay. So, long story short, Dragon Ball Z Abridged, a bunch of extremely talented dudes created a YouTube channel where they went through and made an abridged comedy version of Dragon Ball Z, but they redubbed it. But
Yeah.
there are moments in that show that honestly, and they have 20 years of hindsight to their benefit, but there are moments in that show that are better than the original and the American dub, and that's one of them. They re-recorded an English cover of Unmei no Hi, and Paulo Cuevas does the vocals for it. It is fucking
Oh, wow.
amazing. It is fucking amazing. I believe it's episode.
Language, sir.
I'm
Let
sorry.
me put my goggles on.
I'm sorry.
Language, sir. I
Language.
just wanted to go back to the language, sir. Come on, give me. No, it's
That's
fucking amazing.
that's
That's
how very crass of you. No, it's I believe it's episode 60 But it's when Gohan transforms, and you can find just search Day of Fate Paulo Cuevas or Day of Fate DBZ abridged. You'll find it. It is so good.
That's great that you mentioned that. You heard that, guys. I will recommend something called Nico Bori. Have you heard about the guy?
No,
Nico Bori is a guy that started doing his YouTube channel. Now he got 1.6 million followers, and what he does is that he got the exact song and translated to perfection without losing the melody in Spanish. I think the guy is from Chile. I don't know. I will play just. I don't know. I'm gonna let you choose, and then we do the editing correctly with Nina. Nina, please. Um, my favorite is November Rain, Sweet Child of Mine, or Black from Pearl Jam. I mean, the guy is really good. But why don't you choose a little bit so you listen to it? Chop Suey, he got that in Spanish. Oh my God! Should we do Chop Suey from System of a Down?
I, what have you?
Do you want to do it?
I'm weird because I never cared for System of a Down.
Okay, so we don't do that. I need something that you like. Um,
Sweet Child of Mine's fine. That's a good song.
Sweet Child of Mine. That's a good song. Of course, we got commercials because we're poor people and we don't want to pay $10 to somebody that give everything for free at the beginning, right?
Right. Actually, I'm a big proponent of I tend especially oh that's your dog, especially for independent YouTube creators.
Yeah, my God,
I'll
no,
usually watch the ads.
I'm just gonna fast forward.
Ella tiene una sonrisa que a mi infancia me recuerda todo era puro como el cielo azul al brillar. Oh, ahora que veo su mirar me lleva hacia un lugar especial. Si miro mucho
I
más,
think are those voice canceling?
pondré a llorar.
Wow, they're very good.
Anyway, they're really good, and I need to go to the center, but I will send it to you, and I will put that little piece right. Nina gonna put it. Where Nina cut this part. Let me go back to where the. So we're gonna listen to this guy called Nino Bori with a little piece of two of their songs, just a little piece, and it's fantastic because he doesn't lose the. He adapts perfect without losing anything, and he's a great performer. Nico Bori, hello, brother. I don't know him personally, but I really respect his job. And but that's covers. Let's listen to it. That was good. Yeah, it was good. That was Nico Bori, everyone. He's a YouTuber, really funny guy. So it's important that, or not important, but making a cover. There's a band in Mexico that I highly recommend called Molotov. It's really famous over there. Will be like the CC Top, probably. I don't know, from Latin America. And they made a cover from Amadeus. Remember Amadeus? The
Yeah.
song Amadeus, Amadeus. But they make it amateur, like not professional, amateur. They make such a good song. And they complain about the performers when they play that they're amateurs, not professionals. They amateur, amateur. So it's really fun. Uh, we believe in again and my friends that if you're gonna do a cover, do it exactly and to perfection, or do it totally different. We got a big surprise coming that you're gonna love. You're gonna love this surprise. You are never fan of again. You got a cover. I won another bet against Ego, so he's working on it. You guys gonna love it because he told me, okay, I'm gonna do another cover, but gotta be something totally different. I don't. If you're gonna send me a reggaeton song, we will make it rock, metal. I go whatever I choose. Yeah, and then I sent him my option with the arrangement I recorded by myself, so he listened to it. He told me I hate you so much, but it's so well done, and I hate you so much. I thought we agreed. I'm not gonna tell the song. I'm probably gonna finish with this. I'm gonna leave this hanging. Are you ready? He told me we agreed. This is a band thing. We agreed to make something different. I didn't want to make a rock song. I want to make something different into metal. and you just brought me the holy grail of rock. Perfectly done. I say, I love you too, Ego. Bye, and I hang up the phone. I hang up the phone on him because I know he was gonna be crazy. But I think that's all for today. We got a long podcast, right?
Yeah, it tends to happen.
I love you guys. Yeah, I love you guys. Is talking to the viewers, not to you. I don't like you, Jake.
That's okay.
It's so really fun that people are contacting me again. Thank you for all the people that are following. It's so slow, but we want this to be organic. At this point, I love that people actually call me or text me saying, "Hey, I heard the last part." Right? We had the last episode, Alexander Sakal, right?
Yep.
The OG of poker dealers in Mexico, right? And it's great to make the podcast. Actually, I start the podcast in a really, really bad mood, and I'm going with a smile in my face. Thank you, Jake.
You're most welcome. Are we doing recommendations real quick?
Oh fuck yeah!
I know you would be.
The script?
I know you would have been
script?
upset. That's our thing.
All right, bring it.
Oh shit! Now.
Okay, I gotta start. Movie. Don't watch Ahsoka. That's my recommendation. Do not watch Ahsoka. No, I'm kidding. I think I want to go crazy. There's a TV series in Netflix about war that is so animated, but with rotoscopy. For whoever that didn't finish high school, rotoscopy is the technology that you draw over a movie and it looks like a cartoon, but it's actually real actors. This technique was used a lot in the original Lord of the Rings in 1977.
I was just gonna say the
in
back sheet. Yep.
It's I will look in the name right now, but it's just a 7 episode show, really good. I highly recommend that. Just the art, just the animation and the work to make it happen is really good. It's the story of a squad of people that was put in jail because they bend the rules inside the army, and this crazy squad goes and fight in the Second World War to kill Nazis. It's really good. What do you think about TV show? Do you want to recommend or movie?
Blanking. I guess in the spirit of doing a cover, I will talk about a remake that was actually better than the original, but I have to think of one. All right, screw it. I'm just going to say, for those of you, speaking of war movies, for those of you that enjoy period pieces and or war movies, if you haven't seen it yet, highly recommend. Very surprising coming from Roland Emmerich, who is known for not doing particularly historically accurate movies. The film Midway is not only is it very, very good, it's heavily accurate. There's actually only one part of the movie that annoyed me, and it's at the very end. Watch it. It's the text at the very end. If you watch it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It was very, very insulting. But other than that, the movie is fantastic. It's what Dunkirk should have been, but Christopher Nolan was too insistent on not using computer effects, and that's why Dunkirk kind of feels lacking, because it doesn't capture the scope.
Flat,
yeah, just because it doesn't capture the scope. Midway captures the scope because they use both practical but they use a lot of CG effects, but you have to. You can't shoot that stuff safely. You know what I mean? Like, it's not possible. Like, you're not going to run the risk of a dive bomber actually only getting, like, I think it's like 2,000 meters away from the deck of an aircraft carrier. It's not.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Even though he actually did it, it's not safe to shoot. It's not safe to do repeatedly to get the right shot. So it makes sense. But I would recommend Midway.
Midway? That's the name. I was going to ask you the name again.
Yeah,
Midway?
It covers the Battle of Midway, but probably the best part of it is the fact that it shows everything leading up to it. It starts just before Pearl Harbor and concludes with the end of the Battle of Midway. And the combat scenes, while they are good, the magic of the movie is actually you learn about what leads up to it. and the really cool, not necessarily, but the intelligence. It was because of the intelligence gathering that was even able to happen, and it changed the course of the Second World War.
And of course, the show that I'm calling is The Liberator.
Ah, okay.
That's a really hard word to say for a Latino. The Liberator.
Oh, I've seen it.
It's
That's
just
actually
4 episodes.
yeah. That's actually
It's
on
really
my.
good.
It's on my watch list. I just haven't watched it yet. But that's funny that it's on there.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's the creator is Jeff Stewart, and animation and TV dramas. A diverse, deeply brave crew of ragtag soldiers become some of the most heroic fighters in the European invasion in World War II, based in true events. So that's my recommendation for uh, TV show, right, or movie. Movies, okay, guys, horror movies. The other day, I'm visiting my mom. My mom is 84. And when I jump to watch movies with her, we watch whatever. And we watch how you gonna help me with that? The
Oh,
conjugal,
The Conjuring.
the same. I yell like a little bitch. Like it was 4 times that if cops were driving outside my mom's house, they would come inside thinking that somebody was murdered. I was yelling, we watched the second part. It was really good. The Conjuring is a really good movie. Watch it if you haven't watched it, and if you're a fan, you can watch The Conjuring and The Nun, and the new Nun is coming next weekend. So those ones I went to watch. Blue Beetle, really good movie. I recommended last podcast. But when I saw the trailer of The Nun before, it's really hard for me to go because I couldn't watch. Just the trailer of The Nun is scary. So I highly recommend The Conjuring
Hope,
second part.
Hopefully, it's better than the first Nun because I found the movie hilarious.
It's hilarious. I invite everyone to do this with me. Let's make this a trend. Are you ready? If you watch a comedy, laugh. If you watch an action, get excited. If you watch a horror movie, believe it. Obviously, it's not an ongoing, white face, right? I just let myself go with it. I
I
let myself go with it.
I tried. Believe me, I tried. But the same ex girlfriend. She liked horror movies. I don't love them, but I'm not like opposed to go seeing them. But it's the beginning of the movie, and they're like, "This church is cursed," and I just go, "Then leave." Roll credits. They're like,
Yeah, of
they're
course.
like,
Yeah, you need to believe it.
they're like, this place is cursed, but the spirit needs to possess someone. And I'm like, then fucking leave.
Yeah. What movie was that? Probably that. Oh my god! I watched a movie recently that they say that Russell Crowe, The Exorcist of the Pope. Have you seen
want
that?
no, but I want to. I want to see it. The Pope's Exorcist,
Actually,
yeah.
The Pope's Exorcist. Holy shit! It's such a bad movie that is good, and at the end you live. Hell yeah! I want to be Catholic, right? I don't know what they did. The ending is crap, but it starts like that. Oh my god, we gotta need to move to this place. We don't have another option. This is the only money that we have. We need to reconstruct this old church in Italy because I don't have a job. I don't have a job. And the girl's like, why you bring me here? All my friends are back in America. And he's like, dude, the first time your son starts floating in the sky, get the fuck out. You don't need to stay.
Right?
But you know what they say? Because they watch Scooby Doo. And Fred told us that we need to solve it. And that is why Ahsoka sucks. I like the word Ahsoka sucks. And no, but really, everything is connected, guys. Everything. I know that I'm making a mess of the recommendations, but sorry.
No,
So
they're
the
they're
Conjuring
always
second.
yeah, they're always kind of a mess. I did watch a series, not to get off topic, but I did watch. There's one series in the Conjuring movies that I thought was actually really, really good, and it was Annabelle Comes Home.
Did you like it? I haven't watched even one because I'm a chicken. I actually am scared of that
Oh,
because
okay.
my mother collects. My mother collects dolls. So if I watch Annabelle, I'm not gonna see my mom ever again. I'm never gonna.
Nah,
I'm gonna say goodbye.
I
I'll just keep
can,
my mom in the forehead and leave.
I can
Perfect.
I can solve your fear of Annabelle for you.
Okay.
If this doll is so cursed and so evil, why do they take it out ever? They do it. There's tons of videos of them
Okay.
doing it.
Actually, I am actually gonna explain you something. At the beginning of The Conjuring 2, they explain why. Because the doll is just something for the demon to go to the next world, to this world. So it needs to be in something. I'm with you. If I see a doll like Annabelle, I will move to China, right? Like I will just go away, like run away. But yeah, I mean, I never seen one of Annabelle. Is the non Annabelle and the Conjuring is a universe, right?
It's the
I'm
same.
correct, or I'm missing
It's all in the Conjuring universe. Yeah.
something. I saw a little piece of Annabelle inside the Conjuring 2, and I'm like, I love horror movies. I love to get scared. It releases tension on me when I watch a horror movie like that. Annabelle, I listen to me. The only way I watch Annabelle is if I lose a bet.
Okay.
I'm not
So
watching Annabelle.
before I get to my weird recommendation for this week, let me ask you this: have you seen the movie Brightburn?
Nope.
I will admit I'm weird on this. That is the scariest movie I've ever seen.
Okay, Bride what?
Brightburn. And I know what some anybody who's
Okay,
watching
don't
this.
tell me anything.
Well, I'm just gonna say anybody who's watching this movie, I'm watching this podcast who has seen that movie is like, what are you talking about? Brightburn wasn't scary. I'm like, okay, without spoiling it for Virus, it's absolutely
Don't.
terrifying if you assume that that is real, like people assume other horror movies are. It is the scariest thing because there's nothing you can do about it.
Wait, just answer me something. What do you mean they're not real? Jason is real? I haven't slept correctly because of Freddy in 25 years. What are you talking about?
Oh, that explains your insanity. But now,
They call me Virus. Get used to that. So I'm coming back with the new mask. This fall, Virus is coming back. Yeah,
um,
actually, I mean, why didn't they do a solo album? This fall, the Virus is coming. That'll be funny.
um,
I want to recommend the new NBA game for PlayStation is really good.
is it?
The graphics are fantastic. Sports games are all actually good for me to play between the role plays when I get sick or tired. Play a couple of games or whatever. It could be football, soccer, or NBA. But the NBA present the new technology when you scan yourself and then you add yourself to the game. So you could be dressed with your Krav Maga T-shirt
That
and your
is
beard,
cool.
and you see it perfectly. You scan yourself, and you probably 5 years ago you could scan a picture of your face and the player looks like you, but now it's the whole thing. And the new NBA 2K is working and has Kobe Bryant on it. Kobe Bryant, Kobe Bryant, one of my favorite players ever. His wife next to Nike are releasing the new collection of shoes, Kobe, because obviously she's Latina and $800 million are not enough. So we need to go over a billion, right? So she's so it's nice to be able to play with Kobe in a new game.
Yeah,
It's nice. So
very
I
cool.
recommend that video game.
All right, so for my weird recommendation, I'm gonna metaphorically jerk myself off a bit here, but tomorrow night on the Arte Media YouTube, I said metaphorically, not literally. Don't worry, my pants are still on.
Yeah, but didn't I get an imagination? That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Keep going.
Now, I know many things scare you. It's okay. It's not real. Anyway, it's not as big as it looks. I promise. Anyway, um, tomorrow
Yeah,
night,
yeah, yeah. Have you seen Ant-Man?
yeah,
You think it's like that, but actually it's like this.
Oh, walked right into
Sorry.
that one. No, you're
Sorry,
good.
I said
Hey, man, a burn's a burn. A good burn is a good burn. Whatever. But tomorrow night, live on YouTube on the Arte Media channel, I will be having a conversation actually with my mother, but she's also an entrepreneur, and we're going to be talking about. I don't know what the title is going to be yet. I'll figure that out. But I think the title is going to be something to the effect of like the truth behind entrepreneurship. Because particularly on YouTube, there's a lot of BS about creating a business, being an entrepreneur. First of all, there's a lot of people who say they're entrepreneurs that aren't actually entrepreneurs. They're just glorified investors or OnlyFans models. Those are not entrepreneurs. If your product is being released, or not your product, if your thing is just being released on another platform, like I'm a podcaster, I don't consider that entrepreneurship. I consider entrepreneurship, creating something, making a product, opening a business, not even necessarily a brick and mortar business, but you get the idea. So, because there's a lot of BS and there's a lot of people saying it's like you can absolutely start a business when you're 17 and make $10,000 a month, $30,000 a month. No, you can't. I mean,
No, you can't.
In terms of like things that could possibly happen, I guess it could, but it's not realistic. And I get sick
Yeah,
because
no,
because I've lived it. I've had multiple businesses. I've had one successful one, and it's a modest success because I'm not on a yacht somewhere, so it's a modest success. But I don't know. I'm really sick and tired of people not telling the truth, which that's social media. I get it, but I'm sorry. It's BS because like for all these boss babes that are on Instagram who don't do anything but take pictures of their ass all day, you think they're making that money? Really? You think it's their income? Or for all these?
Don't even get me started.
Yeah. Or for all these?
Don't even get me started.
Yeah, and for all these guys on Instagram that are posing with Lamborghinis, you think that's theirs? Sometimes it is, but I'm just saying, like, you can rent Lamborghinis.
A person that portrays himself and shows themselves with a Lamborghini is because he wants attention. I own a sports car, not a Lambo, right? A Ferrari, and I haven't done a video like that. Say, hi, you want to be, this is what drives me nuts. You want to call yourself a businessman? Go ahead. But when you try to sell a course of how to become rich, hi, the other day, somebody posts, I was in the team with Taylor Swift, and I know how to make you famous. You just need, and I write him underneath. I say, so why if you know the path of success, why she fired you because the video that you're putting there is 10 years ago, and why you don't get 5 real good artists, you make them 10 Taylor Swift. Say, can you stop trying to sell dreams of unproven theories to people just for you to make money? Again, where we were talking, his selfishness and the necessity to stand in a society that is forcing him to be selfish is making other people spend their money like that, and I don't think that's fair at all. If you're a good businessman, at least you're gonna fail 4 or 5 times in your life to become successful. For that business to be successful, so you can invest in fucking it up 5 more times till you get more successful. That's a reality. I should make what do you think? Hi, my name is Virus. I have Soca. I can make you rich. I'm gonna show you how to use a hand sanitizer, handy solutions. You grab this, and it's a handy solution. You like that? Yeah, I think that
Hey,
sorry, Virus.
it simultaneously disinfects. It saves you time, and you know what you can do with that time? You can make more money.
You can come clean with everything.
And I just realized that when this episode airs, that podcast will have already happened. So, but you'll be able to go, if you haven't watched it already, you'd be able to go to the Arte Media YouTube page and watch or listen to that podcast. But it will have gone live
A couple of times.
about a week and a half.
A week.
Or about a week and a half before you see. Yeah, about a week. Because it's going live on Wednesday. So, but yeah, that's my self-serving recommendation. I was gonna say something else, but I completely forgot it after you came clean.
I came clean. That's a great thing. baby.
Oh, I
I need
remember.
to come clean.
I remember.
I need to come clean with you. What?
Please don't come clean with me. I don't want to know. Um, no, but that's part of the reason I'm working on. Right now, they're in the form of blog posts, which you can see on the website artemedia.org. I'm releasing them periodically, but the goal is to compile them in a book, and I'm calling it 101 Ways to Fail at Life. And each chapter is a piece of advice, but it's very tongue in cheek. Like one of them is, well, actually, this is true. One of them, the way it works, the name of the chapter is Bad Advice That I Give You, but it's obviously bad advice. And then you read, it's a short chapter. I'm kind of sort of modeling it after Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, but I'm not going quite as long in each section. I'm just giving examples because the whole forward's going to be like, look, this is all stuff that worked for me. But if anybody tells you that there's a one size fits all approach, they're full of shit and they're just trying to take your money.
Yeah.
Like obviously, I want you to buy the book, but I'm just giving you a long list of things that worked for me or influenced my life. And if you can take 2 or 3 of those, well, hopefully more than that because it's 101. If you can take half of these and put it in your success formula, then more power to you. But I feel like, because I believe you can, I believe you can. It's ethical to sell advice, but with the understanding that this may not work for you, but this worked for me. And I think if you're a smart person, you listen to a bunch of different people and you try different things. Some of it's going to work for you, some of it's not going to work for you at all. Like, for example, I can't sing. So obviously I'm not going to become a famous rock star. So that's out for me. Not to say that the rock star. That's bullshit.
I can sing either. I make a living for that.
Well, actually, I don't know with autotune these days, and there are people on the radio who I'm pretty sure can't sing, but.
What are you talking about? Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, I understand. I understand that what you're saying, but I don't think that it's ethical to show somebody, hey, I can make you rich. Right?
That's
you download this program. That's not good.
That's not.
There's people usually. There's people that probably they have their last $100 and they decide to put them there.
Yeah.
Because if they were doing good, they wouldn't be putting the money there.
Oh, actually,
and the reality is that if you wanna, if you really wanna make it, you need in business. You need to be stubborn. Then convince yourself to be a little more stubborn and think in everyone. I'm not gonna go into the Tony Robbins serve the people and people will serve you. No, you're stubborn. You're creating your idea. You believe in your idea, and you learn how to transform the nose into I can. If you transform the nose into I can, you will get there sooner or later. I've been in the top. I've been extremely down. I've been in the top. I've been down. And the only thing that brings me back is using the energy of the no and transforming I can. And stubborn. And yeah, I can't wait to see that podcast with you and your mom. And actually, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, it's going tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern time, so it'd be 5 o'clock your time.
Perfect.
Well, cool. It'll be fun.
That's our recommendation.
Yeah. Well,
that's our best recommendation.
Oh, I don't know about that, but it just points out I'm a real stickler for accuracy and accountability. So I'm saying right out of the gate, it's my mom. But my mom is a big reason why I have my entrepreneurial spirit, because between her and my father, I grew up around entrepreneurs. So I was very, very influenced by that. And I learned a lot from her. And I was like, and she'll be the first to admit, I learned a lot of things to do, and I learned a lot of things not to do. And I think that's how you really help the next generation, is you provide both. And actually, you gave me an idea for when I do publish my book years down the road. It's going to say, if this is your last $20, don't buy this book. It's not going to make you rich. Yeah. Actually, in the forward, I'm going to put like this book, what this book is and what this book is. And what this book is it's practical advice that might make your life better, or might give you a different perspective, or might give you a skill or an idea that you never thought of. What it's not going to do is it's not going to make you rich overnight. It's probably not going to make you rich at all, but it might help put you on the path. I would consider it more of a how to win friends and influence people type of book. which it says on the outset, it's like, this book is not going to make you rich. It's not, but that book helped me so much. I can tell you right now, that book has made me money.
And something that you need to put next to that is thank you, Virus, for inspiring me because of your waterless car wash. Because I haven't mentioned this.
You can write the
But
foreword.
you're on a waterless car wash. There you go. I'm gonna put the prices of dry splash on the website. That's what I'm gonna do in the forward.
Go for
Thank
it.
you, Jake. We've been here almost 3 hours, so I don't want
wow.
our audience to go crazy. It's
People
been
love
good.
it.
It's been fun, but I know. See you next week, right? Can't wait to see you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the audience. Keep following, sharing, like, share, and follow. If you don't like to follow, don't watch us. And please comment underneath. If you want to say some constructive comments, you're welcome. If you want to be rude, he can take the rudeness. I don't. I will find you. I will find your family.
He will
and
find you, and he'll wash your car while you sleep.
While you sleep, I will tell you. Thank you, everyone. See you next week.
See ya.
I have a dream